Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's that? Never mind. Oh, I think we're live.
I think
There's
we're live.
there's a little thing there saying that. Oh yeah, it says live right there. Cool.
It shows live. I pulled it up. We have like three people watching, two or three people watching.
Sweet. Hello, people. I can watch the chat, but not on our actual account, so I just put it up aside. But I don't know how. We'll see how this computer runs. Anyway. So it's Sunday. It's podcast The Onion Day. Welcome, people. Don't forget to
Why,
write in
why
the
am I hearing?
comments.
Why am I hearing echoes currently?
Was me.
We have six people watching now. Apparently,
Really? Damn. Nice. I really need my other computer. Oh, there's 7 people. Yeah, okay. I can see that part. Sweet. I miss having my computer so I can see everything in 3 screens. It'd be great. But
why am
unfortunately,
I still hearing echoes? Like,
echo, echo. Should I entertain the audience while the time being? If you're here and you're watching, send us a hello in the chat. And if your name is not your actual name, let us know who you are, unless you want to be hidden in the wind.
apparently, I had Zoom in like seven different places. That's why I was hearing echoes. I was not going crazy, y'all. I'm not crazy.
Right.
But it is Sunday. It is Gunyon Day. It is.
It's not any time. Podcast time.
Let's just cut to the chase. Let's bring our guest in and see what she has to say.
Let's rock and roll. It's a great person. There she is.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Welcome, coach.
Hey.
You are on the Onion and we are live.
Cool.
And we have watchers, so could be your
We ha-
friends, could be your enemies. You never know.
We never know.
we literally have only been live for 1 minute and we have six people watching currently. So
Hey.
people are tuning in to watch you.
Oh, okay.
I've
I'm
just
pretty sure
been
one
text messaged by my daughter that she's watching, so
and my wife is currently watching as well. So
Matt's listening from the living room.
how
that's
have
good.
you been?
I've been all right. Started I'm a teacher. If you didn't know me, I'm a teacher. Our first day of school was last Monday. So I've been busy with that and then had some stuff in our lives with some parents passing and things. So it's been a unique season, I guess we could put it that way. So yeah. But yeah, no, things are good and they're getting better and that's where we are.
Love that. Love that. I love it when you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel of this like roller coaster.
Yeah, I was kind of glad that school started in a way because it was a way to kind of pull out of the funk of losing two parents in less than 5 months. So it's been one of those, things. And it was like, well, first day of school is going to come no matter what. It doesn't matter. Like,
And you're like, and unfortunately, I have to go to work no matter what happens.
yeah, I
Like,
was like, yeah. So like we found out my father-in-law passed last Friday and first day of school was Monday. And I was like, I don't even know how to plan to be out on the first day. Like that's one of those like how I don't even know what to tell you about the kids because I haven't met them.
That's
And
busy.
so yeah, I know it's been kind of crazy, but like it's been like a good crazy with that and sort of getting us back into routine with things and whatnot. And I spent some part of the summer, in California and some of the summer in Georgia. So just getting back to our routines and things like that.
And that's why when I was sending you times, I was like, I'm not sure where you're at right now currently. So I was like, I'm gonna send both time zones, and you can kind of adapt it to where you need to like.
I'm in Florida. Yes, I'm a teacher in Florida. Yes, I know. I always get that look when people figure that one out. So
I mean, all good. I mean, I'll be in Florida in December, so
yes, I am thinking that I don't know if I'll be there the whole time, but one of the orgs that I prod for is doing a live down in Orlando during that time. So I'm thinking of trying to get down there. So yes.
I'm jealous you'll be there. I will be there in heart because Tyler will be broadcasting from there, so I'll be here
Oh,
while
very
we're
cool.
here. So
I am traveling the Onion to Florida next
We
weekend.
need a little onion in Florida. We need a little onion in Florida.
I mean, but next weekend I'm taking the Onion with me to my first ever LRG in
Ooh.
Oklahoma City. In Oklahoma City is where I will be next weekend.
Actually lived 6 weeks in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I absolutely loved it. I visited Oklahoma City while I was there. So yeah, Oklahoma's neat. I think my friend played that LRG last year. So I've heard good things. I don't know if it's the same, but it's about the same time. So I'm gonna guess that maybe it is.
Probably. I mean, we had the host
Oklahoma isn't that big.
right. We had the host of it last week on our podcast.
Okay.
So
it sounds like a very exciting org. I would love to participate someday. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
I have not done the LRG thing yet.
Me
Like
either.
going down to do Mythos Live as like production would be like the closest I've ever gotten there. But yeah, no, I haven't done an LRG. That might take me out of my comfort zone. I haven't decided. We did at school last year. It was so funny because I am an advisor for National Junior Honor Society. And for our holiday shindig, if you will, one of the girls came to me. She goes, I have this plan for like a scavenger hunt. She goes, have you ever heard of The Amazing Race? And so, of course, now I'm laughing because, yes, of course. So we actually did a mini version of The Amazing Race around school. So I guess that was that. I gave her some tips and hints and then helped her work out some of the challenges they had to do. So I guess that was my first sort of taste of it in a way. But yeah, I don't know. It's the whole like rooming with strangers for like 4 days. That's the part like it's one thing
That's
when you
true.
go to like the reality weekend, right? Because you have a hotel room or a house with like a few people
or an Airbnb with people you know.
with people you know and like I've like really gotten to know and stuff like that. Then like being in a house with possibly 15 people that you've never met. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, fortunately for me, the cast that they revealed, I was like, well, great. I know most of them,
Right.
except for like 4 people that I don't know. So it's gonna be good.
It's like if I had gone to Big Brother Cincy, which was really in Orlando, this last thing, I knew like 90% of the people, right? Like,
I love that.
but then if you watch I watched another one and I knew like no one. So,
Coach,
I think I need to,
before you go further, I told Tyler this, and I meant to tell you. I have someone picking something at my house, so I'll be right back. But continue on. I just didn't want to be rude. I just want to let you know where I'm going.
you're never rude,
I
ever.
mean, we could chat about anything. Like, let's be real here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I need to go to Reality Weekend or part of Reality Weekend before I consider an allergy. I have actually, fun fact, because people don't know this, I have not met a single person in person from the org community yet. So
I
I
met,
know,
I
I
met quite a
know.
few, and I'm sure pictures.
Almost met Haley. I almost met Haley. We were actually within like a half a mile of each other, but we didn't actually connect.
And Haley's right there in Florida as well.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
It was like her first day at Animal Kingdom, and I was there on a field trip. So like we were like close, but we
right
didn't
there.
actually get to like, yeah, which is kind of funny.
You just need to come to Reality Weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be there for my 4th consecutive year.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I don't want part of the drama. Some of the drama I could leave behind, if that makes sense. And that's all I'll say on that. Just some of the drama does not, whatever. But some of the stuff, like doing some of the live games and things like that, definitely like would be something. And then of course, like the reality stars. It's funny because I'm from Los Angeles. So I grew up where I would run into random people all the time. Like for example, I used to do hip hop yoga with Reese Witherspoon would be in my class. Just
That's
randomly would,
awesome.
like pop in. Yeah. So and I've actually been to a taping of Big Brother. I actually put that on my Facebook today. It's the 13th year anniversary of me being in the audience of Big Brother today. Um,
So,
so
what season would that have been?
Ian,
18?
it would have been Ian's season.
Oh, okay. I was
Don't
like,
know the number. I just know it was Ian's season.
I was like thinking back. I was like, who won around that time?
Yeah, yeah. It was great. I got to meet Julie Chen, whole 9 yards. When they took
Love
us
that.
in, so you go and you arrive, and then they make you wait, and then they take you to the back lot, and they actually walk you around the like backyard of the house, so you can see like the walls that when we see the competitions, we see the walls of the house, right? Or of the walls of the like backyard, which are super high, so no one can. Of course, they're having issues with drones now, but at the time, that wasn't a thing. So they have the super high, so you could actually like hear things in the backyard when you walk past. It was kind of cool. You could hear like production setting up. Obviously, they were sequestered inside, but you could like hear the stuff. And then I met the voice of Big Brother, which was really cool because you
Oh,
hear
that's
him
awesome.
all the time, right? And he really sounds like that. That's the crazy part, is like you're like, wow, okay.
Like,
Um,
you saw the face behind the voice. We all
behind the
know
voice, yes.
behind the
Welcome to Big Brother. Yes, that
or
voice.
exactly.
Or please turn up your mic. That's fine. Or
I mean,
all of those things. So have you been watching the season of Big Brother?
I have, and I am loving this season. I
Oh,
mean,
it's okay.
it's a good one.
It's back to classic Big Brother. I was a little worried in the beginning with the we all have to vote house votes, all the votes the same way, because as we know, that can get really like monotonous. And it really limits like the backstabbing, the whole point of Big Brother, right?
The
Those of
whole
us who play
point.
these games know that like these deals and things behind, and then a trend in Big Brother in the last few years has been like, oh, the house has to vote the same, and us work players are like, why? Why do we have to do this?
I was
Uh,
like, we all sit around watch this episode, and we're
like, like no. So when they started doing blindsides again, I was like, yes, like that's it. And then just the drama, and like I'm gonna be honest, I really couldn't stand Angela the first season. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was not the biggest fan. Um, but I'm loving her this season. I do think she learned some things. I mean, she's not perfect. We don't expect her to be. But I think she's learned, which is great to see the growth, because you see that in org players. Hey, Steve.
So
We're
sorry.
talking about Big Brother.
Okay.
And yeah, so obviously, I've loved it. Loved reading on Barrett. He has played orgs before, so it's been nice to
I
see
mean,
him there.
I've met Angela in real life. In real life, she is chill as all get out. Like, I mean, I do have merch signed from her, the Big Brother key.
You're very, very
Yay!
close to him.
I mean, it's the one key I know I pull down. I mean, my Big Brother wall is right in front of me, so
You
I
didn't
mean,
bring
the
your
whole
favorite
crazy eye
down?
thing. I mean, the whole crazy eyes thing. I mean, I think got blown out of proportion. Because I mean, like, he did make eyes, and as someone who is No, I'm not quite as old as Angela, but I am approaching Angela's age, ish. But I could see how she said one thing and then it just kind of grew, like, right? It just really, and I do think she puts on the drama, just like Rachel Riley. She reminds me of like a current Rachel Riley in a way. Not the gameplay so much, but the personality, over the top, leaning
I
into
can
the
see that.
dramatics. Which what Rachel Riley is one of my favorites. She's not my favorite player ever, but I'm scared to say my favorite player ever because I actually got kicked out. I got voted out of an org because I had said who my favorite player was one
Really?
time.
That's horrible.
Yes,
That is
yes.
horrible.
Thanks, Brett, for that. I said that Nicole Franzel was my favorite, and I know, but she's just so genuine. I think that's it. Like when she's won and when she's done things that are like achieved things, she's just so genuine about it, and she reminds me a lot of myself. Where like she doesn't always get it, and she's just sort of trying to figure it out. So I just enjoy watching her. And then when she was on Reindeer Games, I absolutely was so excited for her. So yeah, but this cast, I mean, had the cult following behind Mallory now. I mean, like there are Mallory fans all over the place now.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I mean, my favorite from this current season would have to be Kamu.
mm,
I'm a Kamu fan. I mean,
uh,
he's definitely playing a pretty decent game.
yeah. I mean, Yash pulling that out. I mean, like he's the one. Like like some of the people we encounter. Super quiet at first, just sort of doing the thing. And hey, thank you.
That's what I love to see, though. I love seeing the quiet people all kind of like, bam, I'm in the game. Hello, here I am. Like Taylor did that. Like you didn't hear a peep from Taylor. She wasn't even on videos practically. And then she comes out, wins that Power Veto, I believe it was, and it was just like, okay, okay.
Yep.
So I like seeing
Yeah.
that stuff.
I guess after Barry, I am probably rooting for this season's Taylor. Since she is a school counselor in Florida, I have to give those props.
Yep, teachers. That's me.
Yes, yes.
I
And
mean,
for
I
those
work
of us
healthcare,
who,
but I definitely give y'all the teachers credit. I work healthcare, so
True.
but you work with a special like we are all givers. We are all
Yep.
caretakers in some stretch of the imagination.
or in the words of COVID, we're all essential.
Yeah.
Essential.
People you can't hate.
Right. It's like the whole thing about Taylor talking to Chuck about the body odor, and I was like, well, I mean, like she probably does that almost every day with her students. Like, I mean, like I do understand why she's the one who kind of took it. But I mean, I did feel very embarrassed for him. So sorry that that was outed on the thing, but
I
that's what you
mean,
signed up for.
I'll be real, like I was not a fan of Chuck, so I'm glad he went home.
Right.
Because like
He was
he was just a mediocre character. He was just kind of there.
No, I don't think he had a
part of the
huge
thing.
game.
Some seasons he would have actually been more lively than a lot of them, but this season, you've added D, you've added Devons, which I don't hate, by the way. I always love a good crossover. I'm actually a huge fan of CT crossing over to Traders. Hated him on the challenge, loved him on Traders. So I don't want a whole cast of like whatever, but I always like when they do like a little bit. But you got some big personalities. I mean, you got Haley in there, who apparently the world is hating right now.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then like I thought that maybe Melanie, do I have her Melody?
Melody.
Yeah, she's had more personality than I thought she would. So
I
I'm
think a
glad
lot
they're
of people a
starting
lot of
to
people
pick it
saw
up.
her out game and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, she wants to get going. So
And I do think that some of the people who stand back and watch make it farther first because they're learning and they're like taking in and
yeah.
They're mentally noting like, okay,
right,
I
which
don't
in
want
games
that
like
bad.
Big Brother you can do. Not so much in Traders because then you're too quiet. But like, right? But Definitely in Big Brother, that's something you could do. I've been a fan of the season so far. I loved the uniqueness. I do feel like OTEBS was a little early this year, but
I do feel that as well. I mean, normally I feel
Usually a little
Dev is
later.
always it normally comes in about jury phase,
you're right.
like shortly around jury. Like what next they're gonna bring Zingbot in.
I should
Right,
read that
Zingbot's
soon.
not supposed to be next, and so Zingbot's my thing. I've had a blog about Zingbot before. It's like my favorite thing about Big Brother. I was on Morty's 25 years ago when it first started with Big Brother, and my name was Zingbot. So like I have been Zingbot ever
Nice.
since. I love Zingbot, and I know Zingbot is mean, but I guess it's the one time I get to like something mean.
It's just fun. Everyone likes a good zap.
Right.
I mean, I really want to meet Zingbot. Like,
Like bring Zingbot to Reality Weekend.
Oh
That
my
would be
gosh, that'd be
awesome. Let us
crazy.
take pictures with Zingbot. I'll be there. I'll be
That'd be
there.
crazy.
you're like, I will be the one that shows up for that one.
I will show up for that. Like that's my whole thing.
You're gonna enter with Zingbot.
Yes, yes. But yeah, no. Big Brother has definitely filled the hole this summer. Last summer it was a little slow, and I ended up watching The Snake at the same time.
I
Um,
mean, I normally watch all seasons of Big Brother. There was one season, the cookout season. That season just got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just give up watching it. Like on that season, it just was not.
I only watched the evictions that season. Like I just skipped most of the
It was
stuff.
not a. It was very boring that season.
Well, because it was like the whole outcome by, you know, the whole outcome by the end of August was like we already knew who was going home when and how it was going to happen. And it just like that their plan worked. See, that's one thing. Their plan worked. The cookouts plan worked, but it didn't make for exciting TV.
I get that.
Exciting about like how and diverse and yes, but to watch it was not exciting. That's the thing. Um, I mean, one of the most successful alliances ever, obviously. But that doesn't mean it's the most fun to watch, right?
I mean, I wish they would do like an all winner season. Bring back like an all star all winner. Obviously, you can't bring back all winners because there will be like 28 of them.
But it'd be interesting.
But if you did like a split house something,
Ooh, that'd be crazy. A two house
they're
limit.
already using like since COVID era, they've been using extra sound stages. So that's how we're seeing the bigger value in production for like the comps is they're using like the sound stages that are next door. So like I'm sure they could if they really wanted to.
Can you
But they're
imagine?
also moving out of California though. Paramount's leaving California.
Oh,
So it'll be interesting to see that if they're moving Big Brother. Um,
Hmm.
like I mean, I know this might be Julie's last season. Who knows? They always say that, and you know. So I do fear that like if they're truly moving out of California and Julie's retiring, like, are they gonna do another Big Brother? At this point, they should go to 30 at least. Like let's at least hit
yeah,
30 and
you're
then
right
call it
there.
a deal,
I
all
was
right?
like, reach 30, do an all winner season. If that's how they're gonna wrap it up,
That
like,
would be amazing. Like some of them, I'm thinking of some personality complex. That would be hilarious, actually. I mean, I don't know if like some of the earlier season winners would be, you know, willing to do that like now in their lives because we have to remember how long it's been and their age and etc. And it's
Yeah.
funny, I always wanted to be on Big Brother. And then somewhere along the line, I figured out that I didn't want to, like, yes, I like playing the Big Brother games and stuff, but I wouldn't actually want to be on Big Brother.
You
I
still got
mean,
time. Coach, we can do this. It's okay. We still got time.
So I think I don't know, think Big Brother would be great for me because I am definitely scared of heights and I've realized how many height challenges there are in Big Brother. Um,
Hey, it could be
uh,
worse. It could be Amazing Race, and then you don't know what you're gonna get. So,
yeah, no, and I can't do Survivor because of allergies. So, yay, Liz, for trying, but
I
just
mean,
gonna
I
do
would
the
look.
circle.
I am. Yeah, circle. You have your own apartment.
There
You
you
just talk to
go.
your screen.
I want to go. Okay, so my new obsession is Million Dollar Secret. Um, loving $1 Million Secret. Actually,
Steve and I both were on a prod team for that.
okay, I just played in the other. So apparently there were 2 million. The first $2 Million Secret orgs were playing at the same time.
Oh, really? Okay. I
Yes.
didn't know there's another one.
Yes, yes. So I just played one, and loved it. And so yeah, so I would go $1 Million Secret in a heartbeat.
Nice. I have to
Was
learn more about it. I wasn't too sure what was going on.
Did
It's
you
new to
play
me.
that one with Amy Queen?
Yes.
Okay.
Amy and I were really close in that game.
Nice.
It was really well run. It was a lot of fun. I was super excited to play it because ever since I saw it the first time, I was like, I want to play the org. It's kind of like the battle camp. I played it in battle camp a year
I
ago.
like
I was
Battle
like,
Camp.
I
I
want to
like
play
Battle
that,
Camp.
and my friend came. One of my org friends came and said, "We're doing it." I was like, "Yes." Um, but we all know me. I like different formats. I'm so tired. About to there may be a Survivor game in my future. We'll just leave it there. And I am getting kind of tired of Survivor over and over.
I mean, one of these days you'll come play war games.
Okay, so here's the thing with Tyler. Poor Tyler has gotten the worst version of me because every time he asks me to play and I say yes, horrible things happen. And they are truly horrible things
Oh, I
that are,
know. Like
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not.
I know, but like at this point, like it's a running joke. I feel like we shouldn't ask me because something else is gonna happen.
I
But
mean,
yes,
you know,
I do want to.
I'm still gonna ask you every season.
Please do. I am booked through November. I cannot take on anything more till
Don't worry.
November.
There is
I
nothing for war games planned currently, so you're good.
I may have been overextending myself coming up. So
I
a
also
little,
I may have a couple games come out myself because a lovely friend of mine does not like to. She doesn't like to like. She just signs me up for stuff.
yeah.
And Tyler's like people sign people up for things.
I I may or may not have signed up for an org because I said, okay, I'm not gonna play an org September because I know that I'm gonna be playing another org and whatnot. And so, and then they gave me the theme, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I found out that right when the two would be like sort of ending, the org I'm prodding is starting. And I'm like, oh God. So maybe who knows about you never know if you're still gonna be in. So
Right? I mean, I have a game in September, a game in October,
mm,
and I took November and December off. I'm not doing anything during those dang holidays.
I haven't heard anything yet about anything that or my one starts later, like the one I'm on prod for. I'm on prod for Mythos, which is an original format. Based on myths, believe it or not. Shocker, right? And we are doing, I think I want to say it's like mid-October. It'll go like mid-October to mid-November, but it should wrap up before Thanksgiving. I'm not doing, I normally play minis during my Christmas break. Like I won't sign on for an actual org, but I will play minis sometimes then. But it just depends on everything. So yeah. But yeah, so I am on Mythos. I just is sort of an advertisement, I guess. we're doing a all-female non-binary queer season next time. So if you like pirates and fit that, reach out to me. Yeah, this time we're going with the pirates. We just finished the Vikings, and before that was the Greeks. So
That's cool.
Love that. I mean, I don't play a lot of minis because of my work schedule.
right.
Kind of hard to play during the weekend when I work weekends.
I
Means
have to say, I have someone else in a similar position to you who has asked me to play their game several times. And I have had to bow out for, again, very real reasons, not like I don't want to play or I'm already in a game. And they had asked me to play, and one of the nights was the night before school started. And I was like, yeah, this is a no before we even get there.
I only do minis if they're on a Friday night into the weekend or a Saturday night into Sunday.
Yes.
But like people get invites on Tuesday and Thursdays. I'm like, no, because then I know I'm stuck till like 2 in the morning and it's not cool. So
Yeah, I mean during a break or something, sometimes I will,
yeah.
but yeah, no. And it depends on the mini. I am a good sucker for a good sequester. I know it's old fashioned, but I actually won a sequester. I haven't won a lot, so we'll take it where we can get it. I won a sequester and I won a traders. That's it. So
I've won a Big Brother. I've won a Circle. I won a Whodunit.
I did win as a faithful in traders, which I do feel is sort of like
That's pretty cool though.
right.
Yeah.
I'll take it, but it's so funny because there are a couple of orgs that I've played several times in, and I have fallen just short each time. So
And I think I won a Squid Games the challenge game. I think that's what that medium was.
Yeah, the Squid Game stuff.
I was like, I think that's the one we won together, Steve. I think.
Yeah. I don't.
Was that the massive
figure
one? Was that the really big one?
It's I don't know if you played in BCO where it's like it's all 24-hour challenges. There's no Zoom calls. There's no.
Yeah, that was my traders. So that my traders was that kind of a format. I play both actually. I like to I feel like as someone who plays both, it allows you to kind of brush up on your skills. So obviously cam is like more personal and talking, but then I feel like if you're playing non-cam games, your verbal or your text messages have to be, a lot more. And I think that has been helpful in my thing to communicate, when you're doing stuff like that.
I mean, I'm all for a video call. Everybody knows I'm for a video call. So.
Right. But fun fact, Tyler and I have never actually video called.
Really?
No.
No.
And we've been in like 5 games together. Well, a lot of the times we've never been where we would be allowed to video call. Like he's been on another tribe or, whatever the case may be. So Steve and I have Steve actually, I think Steve and I played my second org together. So
trying to figure which one that
was.
I know we've had a few games.
It was Vanquish Big Brother. That was my
game.
Yeah. Yeah, where I went out second.
It's okay. That won't happen again now.
Right. Oh, I'll stand on my reason for going out again and again and again because I don't like people who bully others. So
hey, that's legit right?
I will stand 10 toes down on that one. I was like, I get tired of people trying to vote out the same people every single time. Like first, like it's just not like share the love.
No, I dig that. Like it makes sense and. There's some games you just have to open your mouth a little bit, like, just because if you see it all the time, it's like, listen,
Like, I'm not saying they have to make it to jury, but what I am saying is like, come on.
No.
Like, it's not going to hurt anyone's game to keep them in. And then you get my mom like in Power Grab. My mom was watching and rooting for Lawrence. It was awesome. Like my mom would be like, "Go, Lawrence!" So
I mean, we all know we're all loyal in games. I mean, I'm loyal. Steve knows that because, like, Steve and I just made the final 2
of course.
About a month ago now, month and a half. I
Hey,
don't know.
Coach got a shout out in my speech because she was a peer helper for the first season I was in. So,
Yes.
I was like,
Um,
and I
oh,
took roll
that's
on that
such
with
a
you.
so this is hilarious. So I am very vocal in my prod chat with Jeffries. I am really bad at my prod chats and my confessionals in any other game, by the way. I am like not great. However, for some reason, Jeffries brings it out in me. And so
He knows how to
I'm
say the right words.
I'm just woohoo. And so like my first thing is, oh my gosh, love to see Steve. Steve's gonna be great. I'm gonna help him. And then when I realized that you had gotten it, I was like, oh, Steve gotta go. Steve's gotten too much.
Hold up.
Woo!
That's funny.
And I'm sure Jeffries was just like, oh, that's what you get. And I'm just like,
But I
um,
took what like everything you told me because that was my first time playing that.
yeah,
Everything you told me, I'm like, I'm gonna take that, and when
yeah.
I come back on for the next season, I'm gonna do just that. And I think that helped me, and I kind of stood back from being too crazy in challenges
I
because that
think
was,
we've all played it more than once at this point. I
yeah.
think that we can all say that your first time playing that game, and yes, I played first season, and I did make it to fourth. I'm not gonna like lie here. But like that's no one knew what they were doing the first season.
Oh yeah.
Because of the format. Yes, it's Survivor, but it's not a normal Survivor. And so no one knew what they were doing. And so I feel like the first season is definitely like more of a sit back and watch situation. It's one of the there's several I can think of, like Power Grabs one, Radicals another, a few of those where like first time you play it,
Yeah, it's
you
like,
kind of
oh,
have to experience it and like internalize it, and then you can be like, okay.
and even
Like the
in
night I
general,
went out, and the second time I played, when I played with y'all, um, I knew it. I knew exactly when the flip had happened. And I was like, oh damn. And I was like, man, I just need one more so my placement stays above. Like if Adam plays again, he's gonna pass my placement.
Right. So are you playing All Stars, or can you confirm or deny that?
I can't confirm or deny anything at the moment.
we looked into it. We'll see. We'll see. That'd be kind of cool. But
And
I also think,
let's just say that message I sent yesterday, or was it today? Yesterday, might have been like hilariously funny. We'll just put it that way.
I was watching that chat was going on for a bit. I'm like, all right, what's going on here?
Let's just say that when I put that in chat, Jeff Reese was pulling his hair out. So we'll leave it there.
I can also not confirm or deny if I will be back for All Stars.
Right. Um, Great. Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I love that. So the thing I love most about Best Word Rewind is that you don't go out in the first 2 weeks. So people actually get to play the game.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the things that I really like about that format is that people who are putting their heart and soul, yeah, you might not make it past the 2 weeks, but at least you're not out day one, day two, day three. And everybody gets to play some game. And I
And
think
it
that
gives you a good vibe for later.
it gives you a great vibe for later. And it's also just like it's nice not to put your heart and soul in something and go out right away. And yes, that's part of the game. So we all know that. But sometimes a different pace is a little nice. But and if you can survive those 2 weeks of chaos, man, because there is chaos.
Oh
So
yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
mean,
And
yeah, if you're anything like my second season, and then you go bounce back and forth between the in game, out of game,
I
in
was
game.
watching that one. There was no way I was playing that one with life going on in my life. I'm really glad I had not signed up for that one. But yeah, no, because at first, I would say the first 2 seasons, it was more of like you didn't want to bounce back and forth. Like it was sort of a curse. And I actually realized my second season, watching a couple of people bounce back and forth, that it might be an advantage to bounce back and forth and have communication across both channels. So it did give me a chance because I wasn't in the game to kind of sit back and be like, oh, don't know if that's how I'd play. Because that's just not, I don't know, but I thought it was interesting. And that's what's nice about that. It's like some games is that there are multiple ways to play and multiple ways to win. Sometimes social, sometimes physical. So
I mean,
we all know I'm not going to win a physical challenge. So
especially if you're against Steven, it's that cup challenge.
was it the cup on the wall or was it
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bouncing? Okay,
The
so
one on the
and
wall.
we just did that in Mythos and someone won 4 hours.
Holy moly. Well, it beat me, that's for sure.
Just short of 4 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean it was for final three. So I mean
like,
For a final three, I can see that. You don't want to give
yeah, I
anybody a
mean,
break.
so but uh I was like, dear Lord, I don't know. I have I went out in Bodo on that one before. So I discovered a new one this last season that we did. I didn't have to do it, thank God. But it's holding a ping pong ball on the wall with your fist. So
Oh,
you have to hold it. Yeah. Like for a little bit, it's fine, right? But then if you are to keep, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say with your head because I've done that before with the
Yeah.
indite red dot indent on my head because it's been like sitting there for so long.
I
I
mean,
did it
the ball on the fist isn't bad for a little while.
for a little while, right? Right. But then
You gotta
as
keep the
it
hand
slips
straight
in your
too.
knuckles, right? Yeah. I
Keep
thought it
it
was a
straight.
great, I thought it was a great differentiation. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, I've had to do the ping pong ball in the head, and then I actually had to do one where it was kind of like an Olympic, like the challenge was kind of like the Olympics where you had to do three things. And I included the ping pong on the head, but also we had to put an Oreo on our head, and then we had to get the Oreo to our mouth without like we could only do like this and get it into our
I'm
mouth and
horrible at
eat it.
that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, I
I
look like
thought
a
I'd
fool
be
with like.
great, and not a big fan of food challenges only because of like all the allergies out there and whatnot. As someone who can't play some of these games in person because of allergies and medical reasons, I'm like, let's not like, make access hard for people in orgs
I
because they're
think because of orgs, it's not, maybe it may not be real, but I think I'm now allergic to um was it sardines or yeah,
oh,
sardines. Yeah, no thanks. I'm done with those now. I do that twice. Not for me.
I couldn't eat hot sauce for a year after I downed an entire shot glass of hot
Oh
sauce.
my God, no thank
But
you.
I won that challenge.
Hey,
It
take
was
it.
a scavenger hunt challenge, and I won that challenge because I drank hot sauce.
At least with
Uh,
a challenge like that and you won, you're like, okay, I did it good. It's when you lose, you're like, oh, gross. Why
that's
did I do
also
that?
that's also the challenge where I almost got kicked out of Walmart because I was riding a stick horse down the aisle yelling giddy up for a video.
Nice.
And they were like, yeah, you need to leave.
I was like, are there any clips of that somewhere? Like, we are all for sharing clips.
Jack has it somewhere. I do not have it, but he did save
I
them all.
just I
He
just
told us he
picture
was
Walmart.
saving them for All Stars. Yes.
I just picture the staff being like, excuse me, ma'am, you can't do that. You're like, "Hey, partner. Just like go
Yeah,
with
I know.
it.
I've gotten some side looks sometimes. I had to go try to find a wild mushroom growing, so I was walking around my brand. By the way, it just moved, and I am walking around this new apartment complex looking for wild mushroom.
I can picture that.
Yeah, yeah. And so like I'm in the dog park area, but I don't have a dog. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking to myself, dear Lord, these people are gonna think I'm crazy.
I've
I
always
I can't do the social challenges like where you run into Starbucks and say something to someone like my social anxiety. And I understand. I don't give off that I have social anxiety. I have social anxiety when it comes with people I don't know at all.
I've
And
done it once.
I can't do it. I was like,
Oh, I love those ones. You can bring them on.
I did it
my
once on.
my
I had to go to
anxiety
Taco
takes
Bell.
over, and I'm just like, ah. I did stage one time where I knew the neighbor and I had them pretend they were a stranger. And I ran up to them, but that's all right. But yeah, we've had to say in some of our orgs, we are not responsible if you get arrested. Please don't get arrested.
Sometimes it's like you think it's so fun, and then you're like, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid." Like when I had to do it, I had to go to Taco Bell. And I can't remember the host name at the time, but just to say it was Tyler, and I had to be like, yeah, I want the Tyler Supreme Taco Nacho Mix." And they're like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "I'll have the cheesy fries." Like I was just like, "Oh God, never mind. I can't do this." My daughter's in the car laughing at me. She's like, "That was so funny." I'm like, "I need to
I
give the
mean, like
fries
if
and
it was
go."
like go to Starbucks and ask for a pup cup and then like the pup cup, I could probably do it.
Not
But like
bad.
if I had to say something strange, like, I don't know if I could do it. Well, one time, so I was in a 43-day game one time. I
Oh
know.
my. Well,
Um, yeah.
yeah.
It was all summer. And it was crazy game. It's called Conflict. And we had a scavenger hunt, and it was when I was actually I was working the summer at the school cleaning out our closets. And so I ended up pulling out all the decorations and all of the props and everything. And I found like everything. I'm going through Christmas ornaments and I'm going through, and these kids are helping me. They came to help volunteer to organize, and they're getting their service hours helping me do a scavenger. But it was
Honestly,
so
Love
though,
that.
fun.
being a teacher in scavenger hunt, I think that's a bonus because there's a lot of stuff that were on lists of like I would never have if I didn't work with kids, you
Oh,
know?
or like the counting challenges where you start with like one is something, two is something, three is something. I'm like, oh, I got you. I got this. Just give the high numbers to me because I have a random things. And like I teach a crafts class, right? So like,
Bonus,
we
bonus.
got to 100 and someone's like, we won't have 100 of everything. I'm like, I have 100 beads.
I mean,
That is
I
by far one of the worst challenges I've ever had to do is the counting scavenger hunt. Ugh.
now
Uh,
here's the real question: do you have like solo cups and all that at work to do challenges at work?
I was about to open up my org drawer here to show you that I have them right next to me. Yes. So as you can see, I don't have red solo cups, and there's a reason for that. I have coach cups, which I mean, we all get that joke, but that way it's not a red solo cup. And I was showing, I called them minute to win it games, but we did several of the traditional or games in at the end of the year last year in my classroom. So we did like the ping pong bounce, and like I showed them how to do like the one on the wall, and then the holding and balancing one with them on the top and stuff. So yes, I do have them at school. But I have a whole bag for like minute to win it games. We've done like the pencil with the ping pong ball and stuff
Nice.
like
I mean,
that.
I have a whole drawer dedicated at work in the staff room of just like org stuff. Now, I work overnight and I'm the only staff there. Once my residents go to bed, it's game on. It's gonna be like I'm doing it right there in the kitchen of
Yeah, we also so not only do I have an org drawer here and an org bag at school, I actually have an org crate in my husband's car. So if we
you're
are
covered.
somewhere, yeah. I when I flew to California, I was in an org that it wasn't supposed to turn out that way, but it was. And I knew my dad had everything at the house except ping pong balls. So TSA probably thought I was really weird having ping pong balls in my luggage.
I like ping pong, okay?
Yeah. And they just were like, okay, don't ask, just don't ask.
I'll be real. It was, I've had to bring questionable stuff traveling for games. I think we've all
yeah.
been in that. We've all been in that boat in some way, shape, or form. Then I'm like, if they open up the suitcase, oh boy.
I had an org that I needed M&Ms for, and it wasn't actually, it turned out not to be for consuming. It turned out we had to sort them using pencils as chopsticks. And but that was a time I was traveling everywhere. And by the time I opened up the bag to do the challenge, because they had gone everywhere with me, you couldn't even tell what color they were on the outside. And then I had to go emergency buy another bag so you could see the colors.
Oh my.
The things we do for orgs.
But the dedication of some people I find hilarious. Like I've seen people like downtown ready to go into a show, but they're outside balancing cups on their hand to see how long they can do it. People walking by in the backyard or in the background. People do it on like the curb or a park bench doing a quick stack tower and back because they're on the road or something. And I'm like, you know what though? You got to give it to them because
And,
My
and it's awesome
very-
at a restaurant at a dinner, like flipping cups on the like little counter there.
My very first org, which was a Vanquish Survivor game, Vanquish Candyland, and one of the girls did, and it was the first challenge of the first time I've seen a challenge. Didn't know orgs existed at all until someone posted in a Big Brother forum. That's how I actually found out about orgs. And she was standing in the middle of a convention center doing that, and it was one where you had to like measure, get the measuring tape out and
oh my
like put it
gosh.
down, and she was in the middle of a convention center. And I
That's
remember
hilarious.
thinking to myself, are people this dedicated? And then 2 years later, here I am.
Yes. Like I am literally going to my LRG and I'm like, asking the game I'm currently, and I'm like, what do I need? I'm traveling and won't have any of my supplies.
Yeah, that was
Dedication.
for the game I just played, the $1 Million Secret. They weren't like forthcoming, like they said, kind of general, but then they would tell us like for the week, and I was like, look, I am packing right now to leave. I need to know, and I never got an answer, so I packed everything, and ended up needing none of it, but I had it.
I mean,
So I see, Steve, that you're wearing a Limp Biscuit shirt.
Yep.
So fun fact,
Uh-oh.
I live in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Who is from Jacksonville, Florida?
I don't know if he is, but is Fred Durst from there then? Is that what
He
you're asking?
is
Okay, I
from
figured. I was gonna
Jacksonville,
say.
Florida, and he actually used to
Did you meet
work
him?
at Larry at the sub shop right down the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, I have actually seen Limp Bizkit in a very small show before. I got to go to a taping of, do you all remember when Pepsi did the Pepsi soundstage back in the
Yep.
day? So I got to go to a taping of that because I was I don't know if this gives me cool points or I lose cool points, but I was in the fan club for Counting Crows. And I won
Nice.
tickets to go see them. So when they did it, it was Limp Bizkit. So it was Limp Bizkit, Lenny Kravitz, Counting Crows, and Hoobastank.
That's quite a good mix.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen all of them except for Lenny Kravitz. So
Okay. Yeah, you know what's funny is obviously I know I don't think anybody our age doesn't know at least who he is, right? Like, I mean, you might not know him really well, but like, I don't think you've heard of him at some point.
Yeah.
And
I feel like the kids like you're teaching, like at that
yeah,
age level, they could be aware of Lenny Kravitz, but it's also like
they know
it's
Zoe.
like when we were kids, we're aware of Jimi Hendrix, but we may not have seen him
But,
at his high peak, right? Because
right. Oh, I have a funny story about that. Okay, so last year, my kids, so my second period comes in, and in first period they'd had a history test, and at the end of their history test, their teacher would always put two extra credit bonus questions, and they were always about music.
Love
And
that.
so that particular test, the question was name a Michael Jackson song or name a Prince song. So they come to me and like they're talking about Michael Jackson and all this. And then there's this little girl, and she says to me, she goes, "Who the heck is Prince?" And so, of course, I went to my computer and started playing Prince because, as someone who has seen more concerts than most people have ever thought about dreaming, I had to introduce her to Prince, but it was hilarious because I was like, I'm teaching kids who don't know who Prince
I love
is.
that. Well, it's funny. I think yesterday, yesterday we watched the Michael movie, and
Okay.
I thought it was great. But my daughter comes in, who's 14, and she's like, "You're watching Michael Jackson?" I'm like, "Yeah, like I like Michael Jackson." She goes, "I don't know if I like him." I'm like, "Yeah, but I grew up with him, and that like, how do you not grow up with him and not know or like any of his songs?"
Well,
So,
and
and it's just funny how that
yeah.
that gap, but then she
Well, what
knows
I
the
saw
songs.
last year was when the movie came out that my kids started my I teach middle school. So my middle school kids started asking for my Michael Jackson songs. So there were some new fans, if you will, exposed to his music, etc. And I mean, like Billie Jean is actually my favorite song of all time.
Nice.
Like, so so obviously, yes, but yeah, no, it's funny with them and music and stuff. And then like when old things become like popular again, thanks to like Stranger Things, for example. So really funny when they're singing Tiffany in class. And I used to sing Tiffany into a hairbrush in my bedroom. And they're
Yeah.
like, this new song's so cool. And I'm like,
Yeah. My daughter's the same. She'll come out and be like, this song's cool. I'm like, yeah, I grew up with that song. She goes, no, I just heard it on TikTok. I'm like, yeah, I know, but that's not new.
well, like Stevie Nicks went viral last year with her song, and I mean, I have this one student who is an old soul, and
How
like,
about ABBA?
oh yes, you and your obsession with ABBA.
I heard it.
You heard it. Yeah, well, and it's a Dancing Queen when they're like, "Oh, this song's cool," and it's like that's older than I am. But so this girl, she's an old soul, loves all of the old like Hank Williams and all the old rock and everything. And she comes running up to me on a Monday. Can you believe Stevie Nicks is like cool again? This is awesome. That is actually the first TikTok trend I'm not on TikTok, but like obviously I'm on other social media. And that is actually the first trend that I ever actually did was to that song. I don't normally do those things, but I was inspired to do so. So
I'm a little bit younger than both of you. Like I will,
probably
but,
it's
but
okay.
not a whole lot. Like there's like probably a 10-year gap between us.
Totally.
I mean,
Yes, I
I'm
just
34.
remember from yes, there's I'm actually slightly more than 10, but that's okay. I'm old. I'm very old.
Old's okay. Well, we teach kids, so it makes us young.
I work with young coworkers who are like 18, 19, if that makes any sense. And I talk about it and they're like, huh?
I
No,
have
that's
to
the crazy part when I work with other staff and I'm like, oh yeah, this song such so or this and they're like, what do you mean? I don't get it. I'm like, oh my God, sorry, you're only 20 years old. I'm like, ah.
Well, this year my sixth graders are the first generation of Generation Alpha.
Uh-oh. Teaching a new world.
And kindergarten COVID.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true, eh?
S- I love them. I actually only, for the first time ever, I am teaching more eighth graders than any other grade, even combined this year. I've
Oh,
never had so many eighth graders in my life. That was the one, like I normally have like maybe like one grouping of, but no, I have been blessed this year. Now
there
I've
you go.
known a lot of these kids for 3 years now, so like there is an advantage to that. Not all of them, but a lot of them, and some of them I coach in Science Olympiad, and whatnot. But yeah, they're different, and it's not in a bad way, just yeah, like even with like my eighth graders versus my sixth graders. And I don't mean the maturity that comes with age, just yeah, no, there's definitely like a generational thing in there where, really that the sixth graders this year didn't really know life before COVID. Like they weren't as cognizant of life before COVID. Whereas like our eighth graders had been in school a couple years and like had known, and then like it was ripped away from them, and then they were thrown back into them. And I do think that it built more of a resilience in them compared to, whereas the kids who were like sheltered for 2 years and then went into second grade, it's different. It's definitely different, and how you approach it is different. It's been interesting, to say the least. And what's crazy is then like the next year, like they were not. It's like COVID didn't affect their schooling at all, and now we're
Right.
back to regularly scheduled programming. Um,
I mean, I don't know what it was like because I'm not a teacher during COVID. So I bet you it was different for you to even teach via like all this.
so
Like,
I'm in Florida, which we all know that Florida is a little bit different than other places in the world. Um, so I was only out from March to the end of July. So I went back to school in August, and I taught all but one class in person, and I had one virtual class. And I actually had to sit in my classroom, in an empty classroom, and teach that class virtually. So yeah, I was the only one. So at my school, I was the only one that taught that particular subject. And so, unlike a lot of teachers who had like all virtual or all in person, I teach something called intensive reading. In Florida, it is required for students who score a level 1 on the state reading test, or are English language learners under a certain level. So it is a intensive class, built to help them in addition to their English class. So I was the only one willing to try to teach it virtually. I taught something. I taught during the summer virtually. I taught a program that they thought never could go virtual. And what's really crazy about that, actually, I just smiled because I had some kids that they were at a different school, but they were like, "Hey, are you willing to teach this summer? It's half a day in the morning." I was like, "Well, I'm not doing anything else, so like, might as well." Right. And I was at a district event, and this kid comes running up to me, "Hi, Coach RC," and I'm like, "I don't know this kid. Like, I don't know that, like, even if I can't necessarily, because I'm 10 years in Duval, I have much more experience from Oklahoma and California, but like, there's nothing there. Do you remember me?" And normally I do. And I was like, he's like, "Well, you might not." Now I'm like, okay. He's like, "You taught me virtually during summer." And I was like, "Well, I never saw your face."
Say, yeah, you saw me, but
This is the kid who never turned on his cam. I mean, he was honest about why. He's like, I really can't in my household. Okay, fine. I don't want to know. By all means, sir, carry on. But yeah, so you never know. But yeah, so I actually had gone back in August. And that was the only we had only had that closure from basically March to June. So mine was a little different, but parents could opt to keep kids home in virtual setting. And we did that for 2 years. So that was like other schools were all virtual, and in like one state that was a little different than Florida was all like they didn't offer virtual. So I think it's very interesting because you do have kids who only missed the couple months, and then you have kids who missed the couple months plus 2 years because they were in virtual. But so you have different social skills, if you will, in the same classroom. You know, Florida is a unique state. We'll just leave it.
me
We'll
personally,
leave it there.
I could not do virtual learning. I am a social butterfly through and through. I want that person to person interaction. I cannot do a virtual.
I mean, I think orcs would have trained me better to sit in a room and talk to a screen. Because I mean, I think we all know that like I am the social butterfly, right? I think Tyler and I probably compete for most social when we play together. Like we are always competing against each other for like most social or social butterfly. So you're telling me that I'm sitting in a corner in my apartment on a video screen teaching. Yeah, it was definitely different. I have thought at one point, oh, I could be a virtual teacher. No,
Even online was something else, like teaching my kid online stuff. Plus the fact that when I was in school, I didn't learn any of this stuff. So I was so
right,
lost. And I was like, what
right,
kind
because
of
we are
math is this?
now, what we teach now is developmentally necessarily not at the level like when we went to school, even Tyler for the most part, everything was at like the developmentally appropriate age. And now we have seen a shift in that where like what I learned in eighth grade is being taught in sixth grade. And I teach at a magnet school that's college prep, and even though it's middle school, so a
Wow.
lot of our kids take high school classes. And yeah, we have
Wow.
kids that we have seventh graders who take a high school class that goes on their college transcript in seventh grade. So yeah. So
Wow.
like that's way different where the first opportunity for us really to do something like that might have been freshman year. That has really all changed in today's society. And it goes both ways because I see some kids who do early college and like they don't have to go back to the high school campus after sophomore year because they're taking all like early college classes. And for some people, that's great for them because maybe the high school experience isn't all sunshine and roses and butterflies and all that. So I do think that students today have more options than what we did growing up. There's so many different types of magnets and trade schools and specials, like focus schools, like you have more performing arts schools these days. And you have like we have a middle school that's coastal science, and they have an octopus in the middle of their lab.
That's cool.
And they take like water samples from our tributaries that their school is on, so I think students have more options today, but it is very different than what we necessarily had. That
I
makes me so.
mean, even when I was in school to now, they don't even teach half the stuff because like they don't teach cursive.
We just brought it back in Florida. We just brought it back. Cursive is now required in Florida.
I love that because it's like that is something like kids these days, like my nephews and nieces. I'm like, here, can you read this for me? Well, uncle, what does this say?
They don't know how to send their name. I'm actually I have dysgraphia. So writing is hard for me. So dysgraphia is like dyscalculia or dyslexia, but it's actually with the written, like with the hand and hand coordination. And so printing for me is actually way hard. And I mix up things and it's all a mess. And so cursive was actually like my cursive is better than anything else that I can write. But like most of my kids can't read it. And of course I would slip it in once or twice, like as a little challenge, nothing impertinent, but yeah, no. One of my teachers at my school actually started teaching cursive as like their bell ringer a few years ago, because it's a lost art. It was becoming a lost art, and it really separates people. Like other countries are still doing cursive, which means that our kids weren't being able to read cursive, which is a detriment, especially in business deals and financials when you have to sign. And so, like, I'm actually thrilled. So they've done several different things here. So we have cursive back. They have to take a financial literacy class now. That is now mandatory in high school. So in addition to the service hours and econ and all of that, they actually take one that is about like debt and credit cards and
They do have that
checking
here.
and
They
all
have
of
that here
that,
in
or
Oregon.
how to make a
That is
budget.
something yeah. Like my teacher for that class, because that started when I was in high school, made it fun. Like they married us off, they gave us fake jobs, they like gave us an entire life, gave us kids. Like we had to budget. Like
Yeah, we actually do that in our leadership class. So this is going to be really funny because I did this before I joined org. So this is really funny. But we do a game of life project in our 7th grade leadership class. And they have to do the whole thing, like you're saying, they have families and they have a job and you have to budget. But everything is determined by a wheel. We use an online wheel.
I love a good wheel.
Yes, I love a good wheel too. Wheels love me, unlike some people that the wheels hate. So now I laugh at it because so they spin the wheel, and if it lands on XYZ, they have so many children. If they spin the wheel, they work at McDonald's, or they spin a wheel. I told them, I'm like, well, if you work at McDonald's in California, you're making more than my teacher's salary, so be grateful.
I mean, imagine working at McDonald's and having like 12 children.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
And then I remember like these two girls were talking and like they were making the same amount of money and their families were bringing in the same amount of money, but one girl was constantly like when she's going through the simulation, she's broke. And like her friends are like, I don't understand how you're broke all the time. And she goes, I have 3 kids and you have 0. I was like, but like that's the thing. Like it's those kind of situations that are going to trigger like okay, like now you're thinking, and it also builds empathy because now they understand maybe some of the disparities that are happening in the world and whatnot, and yeah. I teach at a really amazing school, but not every student has the opportunity, necessarily. Like it's a lottery, but like if you don't get the lottery, you go to another school. So that gives them a chance to kind of like see what it might be. So yeah. The lightning here is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, we've had quite the lightning storms the last week. Like lightning, cloud to ground lightning hitting. And then that's what we thought took out our power 2 nights ago, but it turned out that it was wildlife. Wildlife took out our power. It said that the wildlife ate the breaker or a service station.
Well, that's new. I haven't heard that one.
I'm
That's
guessing
new.
it was a raccoon and it shoots something is my guess, but I don't.
I mean, can't trust them damn raccoons. I mean, we've all heard the raccoon and the Englishman story. Like,
Okay, so like I totally sent him the link to the video about Raccoon Island in Florida and where you can go visit the raccoons. I may or may have not sent that to him.
so I was the one who took him to the hospital and the nurse there, because I work healthcare, I have the knowledge, and the nurse.
We know the knowledge.
I looked at him. I was like, "Don't be surprised if when we walk in, the nurse looks at you like you're crazy and starts laughing." Oh, they won't do that. He tells him the story. They bust up laughing. I was like,
So to all of our international friends out there in the org world coming to Orlando in December, I have a public service announcement for you. Do not touch or pet the trash pandas. It will result in an American medical bill and lots of shots. Don't do it. They're not that cute.
Unless you got really good insurance, you just want to try.
I'll take you to the Capybara Cafe. I will take you to the Capybara Cafe instead. You can go play with the capybaras. Okay.
Do they have one of those in Florida?
Yes, in St. Augustine. I don't know if there's one closer to Orlando. And then you all know what happened with Sloth World, which is really sad. So,
So, speaking of the Englishman and the hospital story, the only shot he got was a tetanus shot because he needed that.
they didn't give him. Oh,
They
I
didn't
mean,
give him. Yeah.
well, I know that. Well, probably because he was the perpetrator. It wasn't like a rabbit raccoon. He actually tried to touch a trash panda. Not
He tried to feed the trash panda while drunk a Pringle.
yeah, yeah. Um, so it wasn't like the raccoon sought him out. So tetanus shot is only a tetanus shot is great. If you have to do the other stuff, it's not so great.
No.
So
But if you don't like shots, just don't do it anyway.
they have two of those capybara cafes in Florida, one in St. Augustine and one in St. Petersburg.
Oh, and you're in between.
Yeah.
It's not that far of a day trip though. So Florida has some of the looser wildlife laws, which is great for some things and great for and not so great in others. So there are a lot of great animal sanctuaries here and animal programs here, but then you have things that happen like Sloth World and which is just horribly sad. And so I'm wondering if they will be changing some of those rules here to avoid that situation.
The one fascinating thing I found about Florida, and I don't know if this is everywhere in Florida, but
Okay.
Kristen always complains about it when I see her on a stream or something.
Okay.
But like lizards, like to me, I see those in a pet store or in some sort of enclosure. But she's like, look, they're just there on the wall. And I'm like, where do these lizards
Okay,
come
so
from?
are we talking about the iguanas or lizards in general?
Well, she said they're just little lizards. I know there's
Okay,
iguanas
yeah.
just out and about, but
So
the little ones
so
that just kind of like
fun fact,
spiders on the wall kind of thing.
here's a make fun of Coach story. So Coach moves to Jacksonville, Florida, uh, and she has never been. She went to Florida once, mostly Orlando and Tampa, not here long enough to know Florida at all. And I am doing my laundry for the first time, and I was at an apartment where you had to go, walk to the laundry place and, get your laundry. And it just rained, and so I am now darting out between rainstorms to, get my laundry. I was not prepared for the amount of lizards and frogs. So besides just the lizards, because yes, there are little lizards everywhere. My cat stares at them all the time. They are
Crazy.
everywhere. We actually do like if one gets in the house, we do let it like go around because they eat bugs. Then we get it before my cat does. Um, for obvious reasons. But the frogs. See, the lizards don't bother me because the lizards can't come up. What bothers me is the frogs. So you'll be walking and they will, like right after a rainstorm, they will start jumping on you and hitting you and jumping off trees onto you.
That's
And then,
crazy.
yes, yes. So I had quite the scare of a lifetime. I'm walking back with my laundry basket and a frog jumped on my face and my laundry went up. I went up the whole 9 yards. I fell back and broke my tailbone. Yeah, because of a frog. Because of a frog.
Oh my gosh. Here I am
Uh,
complaining about mosquitoes outside.
I mean, but then, South Florida has the iguanas. And so they're an invasive species, by the way. We have lots of invasive species here in Florida. A lot of the animals you hear about actually aren't native to here and were introduced here, and now it's a problem. So the iguanas are one of them. But what's crazy about the iguanas, besides them like tunneling and like destroying infrastructure, is that when it gets cold, they literally fall out of trees. They like freeze.
I've heard about that.
Okay, in order to preserve themselves, because they're not used to cold environments, and we have been having horrible cold for us, crazy cold. Um, they will actually like when they're sitting in their tree, they'll like stiffen up and they will literally become like comatose in order to survive, and they will fall out of trees everywhere.
So that's legit. I saw that on a video
It's
once, and I'm
legit.
like, that's
So,
not
because they're an
real.
invasive species, when they fall out of trees like that, you're supposed to collect them and they will pay you for them because they will go ahead and take them away
That's so
because
crazy.
they're destroying like everything. Like yes, they are animal species and I am an animal lover, but they're taking away good species and good wildlife, native wildlife, and then also destroying like infrastructure and causing all sorts of havoc. And they've like over like the Everglades have so many invasive species that our native species are dying off in the Everglades. So
Wow.
I actually teach a whole thing on the Everglades and the Okefenokee Swamp. So yes, I know, random. I also teach geography. I know I'm weird. So yeah. But yes, but of course our palmetto bugs are what we're known for. Those are the really, really large flying, like cockroach looking things.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun at all.
No, they're like this big.
Oh, no
They fly
thanks.
and they
I was
float.
worried about going to Australia. I don't even know if I'll go to Florida
Oh,
now.
I went to Australia. So I went to Australia and it almost killed me, but not for the reason we think. So I went to Australia. I had an absolutely lovely time. I did Brisbane, which is on the Gold Coast. And so I went to Convict Island. I went to Fraser Island, which is a World Heritage Site. It has all of the Earth's ecosystems and biomes on one island. So it has like desert, it has tropical rainforest, it has all of the things. It's very cool. They have the trees that burn in order to regenerate. So like they'll literally like be like burning and that's how they like pollinate. And so did lots of cool things there. But I'm allergic to eucalyptus, which is what koalas eat. It's also what they use in bug repellent there. So yeah, almost lathered it on my body, did not know.
Oh
And
my.
then so they put beets on burgers there. Like so they slice beets and
Yeah,
instead of tomato, they put it on the
really.
burger, which is fine if like I actually like the taste of beets. I'm just allergic to beets. And
No, that's so
never in
fun.
my mind did I think I would walk into McDonald's and get beets on my
You would
burger.
never expect that, no.
Yeah, no, that's a different one, which I mean, like, we all know that different places do different things and whatnot, but never
I would never
went.
expect that. I'd be like, oh, this something's wrong with my burger.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, and I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. Tomatoes don't grow in all regions, and like, just like other things don't grow. Like, some places don't have lettuce. So, when you start to think about it, it kind of makes sense. But I was a little surprised, a little surprised. So.
I'd be bringing
That's
my
rough.
own tomatoes.
I love tomatoes. I just have to be careful because they carry a lot of pollen.
That makes sense. That's true.
So you're allergic to quite a few things, it sounds like.
I'm allergic to life.
Let's say, how do you
Um,
get out of the house?
well, I don't live in Australia, so I don't encounter eucalyptus unless someone is bathed in Vicks Vapor Rub. Uh, and then food allergies are fairly like I don't want to say they're easy, but for them, my food allergies are easy because my food allergies are very different from a lot of people. So I'm allergic to salmon is one of them. That's pretty easy to stay away from.
So
Yep.
you couldn't make it in Oregon. That's what we are a law for.
Yes, yes. I'm technically allergic to milk. I was born allergic to milk. Almost died because of it.
Is
But
it
I'm at the point
anaphylactic?
where I can eat cheese and like yogurt. I just can't like go crazy. That's one I was introduced to and like we've really worked on. I'm allergic to beets, cactus fruit, dragon fruit, and amaranth. They all have the same, so their colors all the same. They have the same chemical compound. So I'm allergic to those. So those are easy to like navigate. And then bees, well, they're around.
Bees are always there.
Bees are always there. We actually have a lot more wasps than bees here in a way. So like, not that a wasp sting is fun, but I don't go in anaphylactic shock with it. So we'll take that.
I
That's
mean,
good.
you gotta take what you get. Like, I'm not saying go get stung, but
I had a black hornet get my leg, and I thought I was going to die because of the pain, but like I was not actually like if it had been a bee, then that would have been a different story. But yeah, but you know, you do have to be careful of gators here. That's not a lie. I think people think that some of it's made up, and I actually had my flip-flop eaten by a gator my first time in Florida. I didn't live here. I visited my friend in Tampa. She went off to work and I went off to go see the sights and was walking to the bus stop as a tourist. And there's like a culvert kind of thing between me and the bus stop. Now in California, I do shortcuts all the time and I thought nothing of it. And so I'm walking and now I realize I'm up to like ankle deep water in this culvert because you know Florida's a swamp. And so by the time I'm a little further, I realized this is not a good idea. And so I'm backing out of the culvert and my flip flop comes off. So I get out of I have one flip flop on, one off. I'm hopping backwards so I don't step on anything. And I'm about to bend down to get my flip flop, and up comes a gator and eats my flip flop. I've never been more terrified in my entire life. I was like, I'm truly a Florida woman. And I'm like running one shoe on and one shoe off. And my friend was like, what in the world? And I was like, well, why do you have water everywhere? And she's like, we're a swamp. But now I know a lot more about Florida now that I am I've been here like 12 years. It'll be 12 years in January. And actually, the reason why Florida's ecological system is so different is because actually Florida was a floating island for a long time, and then actually spun up and attached itself to the continent that we know as North America, which
That's
is
new
actually
information for me. That's pretty cool.
which is actually why it has more swampland than any other area in the north in our North America. So it shares more similarities with South America than it does with the rest of the United States and Canada.
So if Florida never attached, there would be no Gulf of America.
I legally have to say Gulf of America.
I know. Being in Canada, I'd just,
If my maps in my classroom don't say that, I can get in trouble.
Was that a hard to switch though? Like if you've taught something for so long and now you have to like, it's now
So
this.
I had a map and I did do the whole thing. And this year, so I normally do geography around the world, but because I have a lot of kids who've already had my class this year, so it's called Crossed by Geography. We go around the world learning geography and the cultures of those areas, and then we do the crafts of those areas. But this year, I have a lot of repeaters, and it is the 250th anniversary of the United States. So this year, we are doing the United States and our five inhabited territories, because most of the kids don't even know what Guam is. So, so yeah. My map is actually a color in map this year. Well, I mean, not when I teach. When I teach, I will use real maps, but like displayed, I have one that we can color in, like in a road trip, like we'll color in as we go. And it doesn't have anything labeled there, so we good. And I was like, oh, this one's great.
Geography was my thing. I love geography.
Yeah, I always loved geography, and then they asked me to create a class, and a lot of my kids go on to take like AP Human Geography or AP Hug as it's called, or IB classes, which require a lot of geographical knowledge, but it's not really taught in middle school and elementary, so it's sort of like an intro to that. So, like I said, some kids think that Alaska's a country, that London is a country. And when I said Guam, they had no idea what I was talking about.
I mean, I've heard them people refer to Alaska as a country because it is not attached to.
Well, you have to go out of one country. You have to go out of the country to get back in the country. And then if it's actually obviously closer to Canada than the United States, but it's closer to Russia than it is to the United States. There is one part where it's only 6 miles from Russia. So, fun fact, I've actually lived in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
I will say, it is like a different country. It is very different.
I
from
really
the-
do want to go to Alaska. Like it is the only it is the only state on the West Coast area that I have not been to.
Okay. There's only 3 states I haven't been to.
And let me guess, Oregon. Oregon is one of them.
No, I could no. I grew up going to Idaho every summer from California, so I have been to Oregon over and over and over and over. So one is Hawaii. That's
That's
kind of
my
the given.
bucket list.
Okay. The
I
other
crossed
one
that off the other year.
Ah.
The other one is North Dakota. Yes, I have been to South Dakota. I've not been to North Dakota. I went for a conference and could not get up. So that's what happened. So I do have to go to North Dakota, but North Dakota is known as the last state, meaning that most people who have done all of the states leave North Dakota to last.
Really?
Yes, they have a sign in their airport that actually acknowledges that.
Huh.
So the other one is really funny. I haven't been to South Carolina. It's 60 miles that way.
I would say, isn't that far from you, if I'm correct?
No, it's not far from me.
Oh.
So we have made plans to go several times.
Honestly, that's an
Because
easy thing you
it's
should be able
about
to
a
cross off.
2-hour drive. So this is what has happened. Each time we have planned to go to South Carolina for a weekend for me to cross off a state. Hurricane Irma, the COVID pandemic. And then the last time we're like, okay, it's not hurricane season and there's no pandemic. And so we planned to go. And I came home that Friday with RSV. And so we couldn't go. So we've stopped planning because every time we plan
Yeah.
something, kind of like war games. Maybe I should play. Hey, maybe I should play war games from South Carolina.
There you go. 2 and 1.
Also, speaking of orgs, don't ever let Steve con you into playing a duos game. So listen to this. We have this. We had this host. We had this host. I've been telling this host no, I will not play. I'm busy. This man here comes along. Hey, I'm looking for a partner for a duos game. Do you want to play? Well, I can't tell him no. Like, sure, I'd love to. I get out into a chat with the host that I have been telling no.
Did not know that. Did not know that at the time.
Don't know whose duo game it was. I'm not gonna say any names. There are a couple that I will probably always say no to. Tyler is not one of them. But yeah, I've been caught into that trap before. That's actually how I got into Power Grab, was because Lawrence wanted a partner, and so he was like, will you play an org with me? And I was like, sure. I was so new to orgs, but it didn't matter. When Lawrence asked, I said, why not? Let's go. And then we didn't get cast. And then like next season, they're like, hey, will you play? I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but sure. And that led to another thing that led to being on Pride and, several years. I need to learn to say no.
That's hard
Not
sometimes.
to games so much as like other things. Let's say no.
I get that. Like literally today, I was asked to be on a prod team for a game that I've literally been telling this person no.
Everybody likes Tyler on prods.
Well, I can guess why. Yeah, no, I can see it. Yeah, same. I actually have streamlined myself, and currently only on Mythos, and there is one person who has asked me, and I said yes a year ago. So that my remaining time remains open for them. And we all know no one would be surprised if I said his name. So when he does decide to premiere his org, no one is going to be shocked that I am helping. They'll be like, oh yeah,
Got it.
got it, yeah. But like, if you could wait till after the next Mythos season. Yes.
So
I try
Tyler
not-
says in a year, that means you'll play War Games because he's asked you today.
I said after November.
That's not bad. That's
Do
closer.
you know when your next season of War Games is?
Don't have one in the book, but if I'm guessing, we're not looking one until after the holidays.
So before I say yes to anything January or after, I'll ask you first.
I actually don't think I have anything. I have one game that's I don't know when, starting soon, but it's no Zoom calls, no just Messenger 24-hour challenges.
I'm
I
currently
one
in a
other
silver
org,
game.
but I don't know if I have heard back, so we'll see. Other than that, I think that's it because I
There's
just got
one I
voted out of
haven't heard
one,
back
so
from, but I've been told I'm playing. I haven't heard officially back from them. I try not to play at the beginning of the year, but I'm going to be finding myself in two and
busy.
prodding one at the same time.
I think
I
Tyler knows
mean,
which one I applied to because good old Jenny told me to.
Is
Shout
it
out
on
Jenny.
Discord?
oh, I love that. Well, Steve, we will talk later about that
Uh-oh.
situation. 'Cause, like,
Oh,
lovely Jenny got to me too about something.
is that on
Uh-oh.
Discord though?
I don't think so.
Oh, then it's not.
No.
Mine would be on Discord. I'm one of the rare players that plays both sides.
There's a
I
mini
also
on Discord, but
play both sides. I'm currently in a who done it game on Discord.
Oh, very cool.
who did it? Who did
I
it?
actually just did my first All Stars season in an org, and it's Discord 24 hour. I was in their very first season, and then this was their last season. So they had returning All Stars from every single season. And I knew I was going to go out early, and I did. I made it farther than I thought I would, so I'll take that.
I
One,
mean,
I was from the first season, and two, I was way older than everybody else, and three, I had the lowest placement out of everybody else that was there. But yeah, it was still fun.
All Stars are fun though. I don't mind playing. I think I've played a couple. I know I have one in the near future.
So I found
Actually,
that
I got invited to another one just the other day because your guy just left. It was announced publicly, so I can say that. So
okay. Well, I seem to do better in orgs where I say like I need to go out. I need to go out so that was Bodo. The first time I played Bodo. I did not have the time to play Bodo. I was I was like, I gotta go out. I gotta go out. And I made it all the way until the final challenge. Like I got cut right before the
see,
final
it's when you want to because I played games where I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. I got so much going on, but I'll still play and see what happens. And I'm like, people still want to keep me. It's
I
like,
was like,
Well,
okay,
that happened. So I was in my first Mythos. So I played the first game of Mythos. So I knew I was going to probably be going on to prod later for Mythos, but we needed players. I was asked to play. So I was like, okay. So I'm in Mythos, and crazy family stuff happened, and but it was a smaller season because it was the first season, and I would have really screwed up the format had I walked. So I said to everybody, for the sake of prod, will you please just vote me out? That's how I got the nickname of Ghosty Coachy, because I was kept 4 more rounds to the point where I was almost final 3. And I was like, so I was at the point in my production chat where I was like, if I make it through this round, I am magically reappearing. And because they didn't have the heart when I begged them to let me go, that I didn't want to cause a problem for Prod, because that was my thing. I don't care about my personal game at that point. It's more like I don't want to cause Prod any more stress than, possible. And they kept me around for their game. I was a little heated. And I was like, watch me come back and win this.
That'd be killer though.
Because like hell hath no fury. Like I'm trying to do it, and I understand that people play that game sometimes, but that wasn't like the case. I was like, I need to not be here. I've never actually said that before. Like this is my first time being like, I need to not be here. So yeah, I'm playing in one coming up, and I've got so much going on. I'm like, this is a bad decision, but we'll see.
So, I mean, that brings me to my situation of like, in the last game that I played, it was a Circle the movie game, not the TV show. I literally told them like round 1, 2, vote me out, kill me, vote me out. I made it to final 3.
Nice.
I literally, my speech was like, I've not been around. I told you all to vote me out. Somehow you put me here.
We had so in just the last season that I just ended in Mythos. So we had someone who basically did not show up. So there's 2 that basically did not show up. One went out first round. Cool, fine, bye, see you. And then there was another one who she almost struck out 3 times, would vote just to get there, but people were manipulating that to backdoor people. And so like everyone assumed this person would go home and then a blindside would happen. And they almost made it to jury. And we're like, dude, like, what are we gonna do? Like, I mean, we all know it happens, but luckily when we were like, jury starts next round, they're like, oh, we should probably not have her on jury. You think?
It's funny how some people even have their luck, like, and shout out to Julia because I was just in a mini with her, and poor girl's still sick apparently, and this was 2 weeks ago, I think, and she was in the mini, but she's like, I'm so sick, I don't think I'm gonna be there. But she ended up on the winning tribe every time. So she was safe right up till the end of that day. Out of a 3-day mini, she made the whole 3 hours of that first day. And then once the tribes got switched around, she was like the not present person. So she eventually got voted out. But I was like, kudos on you. You lasted almost a full day out of a 3-day mini. So
what game was that? Is that
that was the
Radical?
radical mini. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like that was Radical, right?
Yeah, and I was like, you're not supposed to chat outside, but I knew she was not playing in 6, so I was like, you're still alive.
Yeah, no, yeah, I saw that. I was like, she's not around. Like, we would know if she was
Yeah,
around. Like, this is,
yeah.
I would know if she's around.
Nicole
That
was
was
there too,
one.
and then she just disappeared because she had to
That's
deal
the
with stuff
one
with
I
her
had to say
kids.
no to because that was
Yeah,
the weekend before school started. So yeah, no way.
yeah,
And it turned out that like my father-in-law passed that Friday, so that would have been really, really bad timing. So
yeah.
I was really glad I had said no, but I was definitely following it and rooting for my Harry Styles. So for those people who don't know, Slater is my Harry Styles. It's a whole thing. So instead of saying go Slater or go Slay, I always say go Harry, and then people don't know who Harry is. It's our thing.
Nice. Good old Slater. There's always a few people in the org world that you like to work with, but because you start on different tribes, you just don't get to work with them. Slater's one of them because I will never be able to work with him because he's always
But
on the other side.
Tyler and I,
Always.
until fast forward, Tyler and I were in probably like 6 or 7 games, and we had never actually met because we were always on different tribes. Always. And either he'd go out and then I'd make swap, or I'd go out and he'd make swap, but we never actually made like swap or merge together. Like when someone would be like, "Do you know Tyler?" Well, I know his face. Like I've never actually met the man. But so
mean,
Slater and I played the so Slater and I were in that 43-day game together. So which was my third org ever. Fourth org. It was my fourth org ever. I jumped in with both feet and just kept going.
Nice.
Someone says offhand, like, "Hey, I played in Conflict and they're looking for people. You should apply." And I was like, "Okay," not knowing that this is like was the mega long megalithic of orgs, and like at the time, obviously there hasn't been a season since, but at the time, like pretty high up there in the structure or whatever. And so I was such a newbie. And I'm playing with people. I'm playing with Melissa S. I'm playing with these people who like eat and breathe orgs for a living.
Oh yeah.
I
I
have no
mean,
clue what I'm doing. I am an like, yes, I've played 4 games. But like I have no, and Vanquish, as we all know. So love Vanquish, got me into orgs, love what they do. But
Got me
Vanquish
in
is
there.
very different from a lot of other orgs. Vanquish has a lot more structure and rules than other orgs. So then when
I
you
love it. I love it.
right, I love it. But
Yeah.
when you tiptoe out, it's a whole nother world out there that you didn't
Well,
quite know existed.
it's funny because Vanquish was my first, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is like every day. This is fast. This is like boom, 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 boom. And then I started, I'm like, oh, I'll stop play some other orgs. And I'm like, oh, this is very relaxed. It's like, but like they have that, it's like we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Um, but like I always give
I'm
shout out to my
not
second.
sure unless it was summer break if I could play a Vanquish game again. Like love
Hard to
them,
get
love the
into.
Vanquish. It's the time
Yeah.
during the school year. That was crazy of me. Don't know why I did it. The second one I think was summer break when I played. So but the first one was like March, which is like testing season. I was crazy.
We're
But
all crazy
Christine
to
felt
play
like,
orgs.
hey, you're a Big Brother fan, and I have this thing, and I was like, yes, and then she was like, at Make a Wish, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did this whole thing for Make a Wish, and we funded a dog for this girl, and like, yes, Make a Wish, and then I had no idea what I was getting myself into in the best way possible. Please don't get me wrong, in the best way possible. But like, if you had told me that one message from Facebook would have led to a new hobby that is taken over my life,
Yeah, I was in a Survivor org, and Kristen, like, out of the blue messaged me. It's like, oh, you really like Survivor? Have you ever played an org? I'm like, what the, what, who are you? What is this? And then she went on saying like what the org stuff does. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but I'm like, still, who are you?
we
But
didn't know
here
we
I
were
am, and I'm
meeting
stuck to
we
it.
didn't know we were meeting the queen at the time, right? Like, yeah.
And
Uh,
now
I've met the
I've helped them
queen.
pride,
I've
I've
met the
helped
queen of
them
Big Brother in Walmart
in Walmart.
in Florida.
In Florida, right? We're in Florida. Yeah, that would be funny. Like if I went down there for a non-org weekend and I went down there and I just ran into her, or half the people who live in Orlando, because it's so people like ask me, "How have you not met anyone?" Well, it turns out that the one person who used to live in Jacksonville moved to another state. What gets even crazier about that is I found out that person's child went to the school I was teaching at.
Oh,
And but this is before I was in org. So
Like, how have
yeah.
you not met Melissa S. or Schwanky? She lives in Florida.
she does, but she lives on the opposite coast. And we just
That's
haven't been, yeah, but there's also like, there's a couple of other people who actually live closer. I just have not. Well, I haven't gone to org weekend, so that's part of it.
I know Amy Dupree lives in Florida.
She did. Oh, Amy Dupree does, yes.
She does. She works at a bowling alley, owns a bowling
Yes.
alley. Like,
We talk about that because my first job was in a bowling alley. So she
I've been
does.
flying a lot too.
She's about 3 hours from me, ish. But yeah, so yeah, no, but it's crazy because it turns out that I had this person's child in my classroom.
That's so crazy.
And now like I'm like, wait, what? Huh? Like, because you never know. And then of course now we have a mutual friend besides out of orgs, mutual friend. And it's just kind of crazy because like yeah, I probably would have ended up meeting this person anyways, right? Like, uh definitely crazy. But
That's
yeah,
wild.
no, Florida is
That's
a
like the small
hotbed.
world vibe.
It's a small world. It's a very small world. A lot of people. Blissy lives near me.
I adore Bliss. Like, she's amazing.
So that is my hope this year. That's my goal this year. But yeah,
Come to Celebrity Weekend. You can see me and get a selfie.
you're not coming this year, Steve.
I hope to someday make it down there, but it's like an extra couple thousand for me just to get over that border to get
I
there.
know.
So,
I know.
but
Yeah, that's
it's still my dream. I
and
would
then you
love because
still
I think it'd be
and
so
it's
much
still
fun.
then more expensive because of like exchange rates and craziness.
Yeah, it's
But like I
unfortunate.
don't blame you.
One of
Yeah.
these days, though, Steve, you and I are gonna go live together, wherever.
Somewhere, yeah. Whether it be, eh, across the border on your side somewhere, I don't know. But
You can meet in Alaska.
honestly, it'd be somewhere I wouldn't mind going. But
Right, right. I don't remember where exactly you live in Canada. I've only been to parts of Canada.
I'm in Ontario, just outside Niagara Falls, so right on the
Yeah,
border kind
I've
of
been
deal.
there. So I've been
Okay.
there. So we drove up through the Upper Peninsula into Canada and drove over to Niagara Falls and stayed on Niagara Falls side. So I've done that. And then I in like Buffalo area. And then
Yep.
I've also been to Vancouver.
Another great place.
Yeah, I've stayed a lot of places in the Pacific Northwest, and then so technically it's like to get to the Suquamish Reservation, you technically actually it's on an island off of Seattle. You technically go into Canada-ish, like not officially, but like yeah,
Right.
so it's right
I
there.
feel like if I ever make it out to Vancouver, I'm making Tyler drive up. So I came
Yeah,
all the way across, so you can come all the way up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been all over Oregon. Beautiful country. Someday, when I'm not too old, I do actually would love to hike the PCT. That's actually one of my like obsessions. Don't know if it'll actually happen, but or at least parts of it. So,
So, Steve, to fly from Oregon to where you are in Canada, it's only $300 for me.
that's not
Really?
bad.
That's not
What?
Yeah.
bad.
And then poor Steve goes to do it. It's 900 to 1,000.
I know every verse is like 3,000. You're like, what?
Um,
I
Yeah,
mean,
they
I,
have
well,
it.
it's like I can fly anywhere but Los Angeles for like a lot less. I'm actually really excited for when the train from Las Vegas actually opens. Because then I can fly into Vegas. So all flights into Vegas are subsidized. I don't know if y'all know this, but they're
Oh,
cheaper because so the casinos subsidize the flights so people will come to Vegas.
that's
So
smart.
flights to Vegas are normally a lot less.
You
So
just have to get back out, make sure to return ticket.
right, yeah. But by the way, if you're ever planning to go to Vegas, always make sure you buy your round trip ahead of time. So if you're broke, you can still get home.
Yep.
As someone who has spent a good portion of her life in Vegas, practically living there for 2 years, my gosh.
I can always say I've landed in Vegas, the airport, but I've never got out. So I
So
flew
you were
over.
going to,
It looked
yeah.
beautiful from the sky when I landed, but I
I
was headed to
actually
Mexico. So
I flew out of Los Angeles area and I was flying back to Minnesota on 4th of July at night. And I took off in Vegas at like 9 o'clock their time. And so the entire city was lit up in fireworks from above. It was
Well, that's cool.
absolutely incredible.
Awesome.
I mean, all cities are incredible with that, but like Vegas is a whole different playground. But yeah, there's actually going to be a train. That train is actually being built. And it's going to go into Ontario, which is part of like the regional network. It's out in California, so which is actually the closest airport to where my family lives. So I will actually can fly into Vegas and then take like the $30 train in instead of yeah.
That's cool.
That'll be cool. And then also like going to Vegas. I could do a night in Vegas and then go over. I miss Vegas. Not a gambler. I like penny slots. I do like penny slots. But
I love Vegas. I went when I turned 30.
yeah, I've spent so fun fact, I did not spend my 21st birthday in Vegas, but I spent my 22nd birthday in Vegas, but with my parents. Because my cousin was getting married. So family drag. I've never been to Vegas, been through like my mom had driven me through on the way to Orfino, Idaho. So I had driven through Vegas many times, never stopped. And so the very first thing I see in Vegas, like we walk into the Bellagio and there are three Elvis impersonators, and they see my little button that says, "Hi, it's my birthday," because my mom was super extra. And we take pictures of them, and my mom was like looking, and she's looking, and then like I look at the pictures later because this is back in the day when you didn't have access to like I'm old, okay, I'm old, like to see where
You're
these were
not that
actually.
old.
And all the Elvis impersonators that I took my 22nd birthday with were female Elvis impersonators. So welcome to Vegas, baby. That was like the coup de grace. So now I'm like, well, actually, I have the coolest Vegas story. Yeah,
One day
there's
I think
nothing
I'll.
like Vegas out here. Like Biloxi's not like it. Driven through Biloxi, but like there's not a lot of casinos out here. You have to go out to the Seminole Reservation. That's where Hard Rock is here. But it's not the same. Whereas in California, you can drive 40 minutes anywhere and you can be at like a casino. So
That's about what it is here in Oregon.
I like to go play bingo. Like bingo on a Sunday is absolutely fantastic, especially if it's like raining outside. Going to a casino, hitting the buffet, and playing bingo is an absolute great way to spend a rainy Sunday.
I haven't done it yet, but I think one day I might want to try that. I volunteered them when I was younger, and I was
Okay.
like, I'd play this. This is kind of fun. I'd
It's
make it
a
fun.
great way if you're stuck inside and can't do things or whatever. Like, and normally buy-in is pretty cheap, and if you don't win anything, fine. But hey, you might win something. One random
All I know
Sunday.
is that some of these seniors that play, they are dead serious
So
about their
serious.
bingo.
So
I moved
serious.
one of their markers one day because I was helping them look for bingo cards, and she's like, "Don't touch that!" I'm sorry. They're very
They
serious. They
they
like
come
the
with their
numbers.
dabbers. They come with their little statuettes
Oh
of
yeah, the little
different
toys.
animals.
It's serious stuff.
I'm gonna be an old lady wearing purple at the bingo hall. That's gonna be me.
Hey, dedication, that's good. I don't know
Are
what
you gonna
color I'll
are you
wear,
gonna have
probably
the
black.
are you gonna have the fun colored hair too?
Yes,
Like
absolutely. Yes, yes. Um,
you're gonna be the fun old lady, the
She's got little
um,
borders around her
when I
cards
moved
so
to
no one bumps her.
Florida, I moved to Florida because I wanted to get as far away from my ex-husband as possible. That's the reason I moved to Florida. And so at the age of 35, I did all the things people do when they're like 18 and 21. I got a tattoo. I dyed my hair pink. I did all the things that most people do at that age.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean I don't have any tattoos, so I'm not a part of that normal group.
I only have one, and it's a Counting Crows lyric. It's nothing like crazy. But yeah. I am gonna get a second one in honor of my mother on my other shoulder, but
I
I'm
hope
not
to
like
get
a
a
crazy
tattoo. I don't have one yet. One day.
one day.
One day.
I mean, my thing
Oh,
is it has to have meaning for me to put it on me. I'm not just gonna go, oh, I like that picture, just slap it on.
Yeah.
well,
Well,
it's
and that's
funny.
why I chose words. I couldn't see putting like a picture on myself. Um,
I
But
have ones
even
that
like,
are set, but like I
yeah.
have one that was like a cool Canada flag. But then my other one was when my daughter was a baby. I took her footprint in like purple ink, and then it's on paper. So I was gonna put that on there, like and there with the name and a birth date. I still haven't done it, but I'm still planning on hopefully maybe doing that someday because that's something
That's
you won't be like, oh, why did I get that? Although some days I'm like, kid, no, just kidding.
when your kid is old and gray, you'll decide to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could do it with pictures. I think, well, I'm such a music head that like I come the story. I can't sing, can't play an instrument. I am the reason why musicians exist. I am here to listen.
Hey,
Um,
I sing fantastic in my car, but no one needs to hear that.
as my dad says, I can't carry a tune in a bucket even with super glue.
It's one
Yes.
way.
Yeah, yeah. But I have been to my list is in the hundreds of bands and people I've seen. It's my thing. And so yeah, so to me it had to be music lyrics. Like there would have been no other thing that ever like made sense to me. So
No, I think that's legit. I'm a big music fan. Like I think 2 summers last summer or 2 summers ago, I think the most I ever did was like 11 concerts in one summer. It was pretty sick, but it was fun. This was one of
uh I
them.
yeah, I'm actually I had one scheduled, but I had to rework it because of life and family right now. But so coming, I saw I well, I'm kind of watching ticket prices. Benson Boone's here next week. And so I'm kind of seeing if some of the
That's a good
unsold
one.
tickets might, yeah, yeah. We don't normally get those big names here. So
One band I think I would love to see because I literally grew up with them, and I know this will age me, but like I literally grew up with them because it's just the sound. But like the Beach Boys, before they go, I'd love to see them in concert.
I've
It's like
actually I've seen the Beach Boys and it was on accident. So we traveled. I grew up going on road trips. So when I was little and we would drive all the way across country, like literally from California to like I've been from California to Rhode Island, etc.
Nice.
And that's what my mom and my dad were known for, was doing all these trips. And then of course me. And so we were in Atlantic City and the Beach Boys were playing on the beach. So it was like the anniversary of Atlantic City. I don't ask me what year or whatever, but it was the Beach Boys. So I've actually seen them, but yeah, grew up with them. My fifth grade teacher, so we started the morning doing like a, I don't want to call it a dance routine. So my fifth grade teacher was one of my favorite teacher, top three teachers I ever had, Miss Kindle. And she was, when I was in fifth grade, she was probably 60-ish years old. And so we would do like a moving stretching, like every morning. That's the first thing we did. And so one of the songs we did Kokomo and we did Barbara Ann were two of the songs that we did all these motions and
Two
stuff to.
great songs.
And so at our last high school reunion, actually, we had them put on Kokomo, and a whole bunch of us who had been in the fifth grade class, like it was muscle memory, man. We just all of a
Nice.
sudden we're standing in Miss Kendall's class again. But yeah, uh,
I
It's
mean, I
funny
do
that
know.
you say you have a fifth grade teacher that stands out because my favorite, like one favorite teachers was grade 5, and Mr. Stansfield. Unfortunately, I found out like when I was 20 something, he passed, but like he played guitar in class, he gave everyone time to themselves, he gave you time after school to talk. And it was just like, and then like we all found out later he played Santa Claus in the mall afterwards. And it was just like, he was just like that dude that did everything. And I'm like, I always look to that because I'm like, he made me a little better from who he was then. So
Miss
that's always
Kendall, yeah. Miss Kendall's the like she was kind of no nonsense in a way. Like, but she did a lot of things that were great. It's just like her demeanor was different. And so like she was my favorite academic teacher, if you will. But so my other favorite teacher, and he's still alive, is Mr. Graber. And so I had Mr. Graber in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, middle school, as we call it here, junior high, etc. And I had him for what was called the wheel. So when I went to school in California, most of the electives were called the wheel, and we were on trimesters. Don't ask why, I don't know why. But we were on trimesters instead of quarters for during my middle school years. And so the first trimester we would do one thing, the second trimester we would do another, etc. And so the art, if you will, was Mr. Graber. So like first year the art was like your typical art class. Okay, you're learning the color wheel and whatnot. Second one was pottery, and third one was like advanced, like different things. And so I had Mr. Graber all 3 years. I was probably one of his worst students ever. Not with my attitude or like my grades, but I was not I'm not an artist, and I was not you're all looking at me because you know what I teach. I know it's crazy. So I had like we had to make a comic strip cell and like repaint it, and mine was a Calvin and Hodges, and it was still bad. And like we had to make this clay whistle who like you had to make a clay whistle and it had to work. Do you think mine worked? No. But he never let me quit. I also had Mr. Graber. So in seventh grade, so in sixth grade, they told us that we were going to have sex ed in seventh grade. When we got to seventh grade, we were told they moved it back to sixth grade. By the time we got to eighth grade, they realized that none of us had sex ed. And so they said, hey, Mr. Graber, guess what? You're teaching sex ed. And he was like, okay. So I had him for art all 3 years and for sex ed, which is definitely a mix. So he looked at me and he said to me when eighth grade graduation, he said to me, he's like, Erin, my government name, if you didn't know it. He goes, look, you didn't have any higher than a C in my class because let's be honest, not sure art's your thing. Like, he's like, but you never gave up. And I always look forward to what you tried to do. And I was like, oh. And so now I teach the class he teaches. So now I'm a crafts teacher. So yeah, so now I always joke that Mr. Graber probably thinks I'm insane because that was never on the bingo card for him. But I'm not going to make my kids make clay whistles. And Megan, I'm still mad that yours works. We've had beef since eighth grade over it. It's okay.
I mean, I love that. I mean, I'm not an artist by any way, shape, or form.
nope.
But
I just take
but I
figures.
but I can really know my way around the up and coming AI, ChatGPT.
I take any technology class they offer me at school. Like they were like, you can take AI this, you can take this. I raised my hand. Like something I tell my kids about, like half my class is geography and culture, and half my class is crafts. I don't expect you to be an amazing crafter. I don't expect you to have perfect whatever we're making. I do expect you to try. And that's why I have like 2 awards in that class. I have the craftsmanship award, and that is for the kid who like really can put together amazing pieces. And then I have like the 5 themes of Geo award, and that's the kid who comes in and does everything above and beyond, but they just crafting might not be like their thing, right? but I'm still giving them the opportunity to do. Because if you had told me when I was sobbing at home with the clay whistle that I wasn't supposed to take home to work on, and sobbing in my kitchen about it not working, that I was going to teach a crafts class, I would have never believed you.
I mean, I get that.
So, I wanted the kids, like, the thing I found when I moved to Florida is that the electives here are very, there's art, of course. So, and it's not in all schools, but you've got your art, you've got your personal finance and, stuff like that. And there's just not a lot of like variety. And so I wanted to bring some hands-on experiences, because it's not, so last year my main goal, like we had to set goals. I'm sure it's a, even in healthcare and in education, we have to set goals each year, right? And my goal was to make core memories. That was like what I wanted to have happening. Like not me, have them make core memories. And so I that was my shift last year where it was like, okay, I have the academics there, that's fine, but like, because not all kids have the opportunity at home to do that, so
I mean, healthcare and education definitely go hand in hand.
Two importance. Yep.
I mean, Steve and I have talked about healthcare and education more times. I mean, he's been on
two
video call with me
systems that are
one.
broken in America.
I mean, he's been on video calls with me while I've been at work,
Literally doing their job.
literally doing my job. All the residents are in bed, so I'm not breaking any rules before anyone out there.
Decides to do something crazy, right?
But
The
still,
the world's a crazy place. Yeah, no, and they're tied together, they say that the reading literacy level that definitely dictates like a person's access to resources later in life. And so they are tied to our people who are experiencing health crises and diabetes and obesity, etc. A lot of them are not proficient readers and didn't have those opportunities, and it's a problem. The illiteracy rate in the United States is unacceptable for where we are, at this point. It's embarrassing, really. So they say if a student has had a referral, okay, like a referral or some sort of like that kind of punishment, referral or suspension, or has been in an intensive class, which means like a remedial like language class, they're 30% more likely to end up in jail or on public assistance. And it's a
I mean,
problem. It's a problem.
100%.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that only certain school districts like have proficient readers. Like I get kids in 8th grade who read as 2nd grade level.
It's happening, yeah.
Even more so with the alpha generation, with access to technology, COVID, to bring it back where we started today, COVID, and
Yeah.
everything being virtual, so not exposed to as much print. It's crazy.
But like, I'm assuming it's similar in the States, but I know here, at least in Ontario, for even based not in Canada, but in province, like there's a lot of resource help for even in the early ages to kind of jump on that because it's much better. And a lot of parents don't realize, but it is much better to catch these things early
Right.
than find out later on. Because like my daughter, we've had hunches, and I won't go too far into this, but like we've had hunches that my daughter has ADHD. Um, but to actually confirm that to get tested, we were late to it, and like she's just getting diagnosed a couple years ago with it. Like she's 14 now. Like we knew because like as teachers, you kind of have vibes and stuff, but like official testing, it just takes so long to to go through that, and we figured out some other things throughout the testing, and
Yep.
it's nice to know that there's these things out there. But I think a lot of parents are afraid because every parent wants their kid to be perfect, and they are still perfect. It's just sometimes there's a few things. I had learning disabilities growing up. I don't care. Like, I have no problem
Okay.
saying that, but
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just I've seen it in my field that a lot of parents like, oh, I don't know, like, but I'm like, it's okay. So
Yeah. And I think it's the stigma around like a learning disability or a disability of any type, but like we see it reflected with the mental health crisis as well.
yeah.
Like it's all tied together, for sure.
And I
Um,
think by saying mental health, it's a little more warming because I think people are afraid of the disability word because it's a strong word. But by putting it with mental health, it's like, okay, this is common. This is an upgoing thing with many, right?
yeah, so in Florida we call it exceptional education, and it actually covers the broad spectrum between gifted and beyond.
Yeah.
Including autism, everything in there. And like, for example, my mom, who was a public educator, I have ADHD, I have dysgraphia, that's well known, and other things. And my mom kept it out of my school records because at the time there was that stigma attached. She saw what happened to kids, and I went on to take honors classes. Except for my ninth grade teacher, it was fine. My ninth grade teacher is one of the reasons I became an educator, but in the flip, the day I taught her subject, I told her I took her job because she told me I'd never amount to anything. Uh, so the day I taught ninth grade English, I wrote her an email and said, "Well, guess what? I now teach the
Nice.
same thing you teach." I'm not normally petty, but when you say that I don't deserve honors education because I have ADHD, it's a problem. Um, and I was like, it took me longer to catch on than my mother in that situation. But as in ninth grade, I did get it, and then it didn't go well after that, of course. But today's different, and there's so many things out there
But
that
you're okay knowing that's a part of you, right? Like,
right.
some people are so afraid to admit that, even if it's not the actual person. Like, and my parents don't
Oh,
watch
I
this,
am an
but
ABC alphabet. Like
yeah.
on the spectrum, have dysgraphia, ADHD, whole nine yards. But
Yeah.
like that's just makes me who I am. Mm, But of course, it's different in different cultures. It's different in
Oh
different
yeah. But I
communities
think
as
as
well.
teachers, we're not worried to express that. Like, I'm not worried to express it, but like when you put it towards my parents, and I know that, like I said, I know they don't watch this, but like my dad will admit to me saying, like, I have the papers. Yes, you had a learning disability growing up in school. My mom's like, "Pff, you're fine. I don't even know. Like, I don't understand. She doesn't get mental health because of how she grew up as well, right?
Right.
So when you grow up not knowing what mental health is and not really following it at all, then you're over there. But if you have an idea, then you get it. And I think that's the huge thing right
And
now
it's
with a
all
lot of people.
tied. Yeah, it's all tied to it because some people who are undiagnosed, they struggle more, so then their mental health struggles more, etc. And like not they don't understand why they're not getting something. Why is it that everybody else, understands XYZ? And like, I mean, algebra and I do not get along. Math and I do not. So all the kids, I
Algebra,
can
I
help you
still
in
don't get it.
every other subject but math. Like I can help you in science. I can help you in every other science, every other thing. I cannot do math.
No, give me a
Um,
map, I'll find your way out. Give me a math equation. I'll be like, I'll be here for a while.
like I did science Olympiad. I know most I might need some help with some physics equations. I didn't actually really get physics. My teacher died mid-year during physics, and so they just passed all of us. So I'm
Oh
gonna be
my.
real honest and say that I really didn't get. But so my teacher dies mid-year. and they bring in a student teacher. Student teacher calls my mom, goes, "Hey, I think your kid has a learning disability." And my mom is at
Really?
that point, she had kept one, he probably could have had more tact, but like he was trying to do, he's trying to do a service, right? Like he didn't cut, his mom was an educator. He was coming from the right place, but he hadn't learned how like to approach it yet. And my mom goes, "Yeah, think." And she's all like, just because she doesn't have to pay for it at school doesn't mean we don't know. And of course, he turns like bright red. And, yes, please. And so, like, uh, but it was just hilarious that this, he was brand new, had just come from college. So he had just learned all of the things that they tell you to look for. And he walks in the classroom, he's like, "You." And I mean, like it's funny now. It wasn't necessarily funny at the time, but now it's like, yeah, well, I probably stood out like a sore thumb. But you also learn as a middle school teacher, like, yeah, I have kids who have services and have things, and
Mhm.
then I have kids who should, and I don't even have to wonder why they don't, because I'm sure the family has been approached, or there is even a record that the family's been approached, but it's not going to happen. And it's, I live in Florida. Parents have final choice in Florida. Parents have a ton of rights in Florida, which is good. It's not a bad thing. Don't want anyone to think it's a bad thing, but it's definitely a different vibe than some states. So, you know, and it's hard sometimes with different children, but I think that's trending in the right direction eventually. And I think like at some point, like most education will be so, I don't know what the word is, like we already differentiate for so many different kids, but I think that in the future, as we go forward, like curriculum and things that we bye, Charlie. My kitty. I think that it'll just be embedded because like it'll be like different populations like all together, if that makes sense. It won't be like, well, this kid gets this and this kid gets that. It'll be like everything will encompass everything together in a way.
No, and it's well, it's gonna be forever changing for one, but like people will figure it out as everything progresses along.
Like our state test for the first time, our state test last year has the dyslexic font on it. And it was the first year. And so we saw a huge growth in our students diagnosed with dyslexia because they now they can now have a font that actually makes it easier for them to read. So
Love
you
that.
know, love that, right? Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many kids came up to me and were like, "I can actually read it." Because you knew they got it and they know it. It's that, they had obviously when they're faced with print in front of their face, it's not fair. Like that would be like asking me to write a perfect essay in handwritten notes. Like I physically cannot do that. So now give me a typewriter or a keyboard and I got you, boo. But
Give me a smartphone. Like I can take one out.
Right that
oh yeah,
fast.
voice to text nowadays. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see as we come it's like this with like the smart glasses, which are not allowed in classrooms, but for things that will get more embedded. And I think, obviously access has become easier because of technology, but
It honestly, the world, if I grew up in today's time, oh my God, like it's crazy the changes. Like,
yeah,
I
there's a
just
couple of
figured out
classes that I had tears in. Spanish too. Being one of them, where like if it was a different world, if it was today's world, like it would have been a game changer. And
oh
I
yeah.
know it's character building. Okay. I can look back at my Spanish 2 class and realize that I gained a lot of skills that weren't Spanish, by the way. That gained a lot of skills that I would know later, and how people operate. And then I made it to Spanish 3, not knowing any Spanish 2. Not gonna lie, when I had a teacher who came in, she had just graduated. But she came in and realized that the kid she had gotten, that something had happened, right? She wasn't sure what it was. She wasn't going to take it on. She just knew that a mindset change needed to happen. And she created Spanish Club, and she included cultural immersion, and she gave people opportunities to show proficiency and growth in a different way than like the very old school mom did it in Spanish too. Okay. And I ran into her like 5 years later on my college campus. She was getting her master's. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have no idea how much you changed my life. And she was like, I was a first year teacher and didn't know anything. and, and I was like, you knew so much more. But it's like the experiences, have changed. At that point was when people were becoming more open-minded to doing more different methods of things. But like, was it character building? Yeah. Could have I done without some of it? Yes. I had to ended up having to take Algebra 2 third trimester. I know, trimesters, I know. Again, because I had not scored a C, I scored a D plus. I had scored the rest of them, but I had gotten into college on contingency that D would change to a C. And so my senior year and my last trimester, after having I had 2 free periods the first 2 trimesters because I'd done all my credits. I was in an Algebra 2 class with sophomores. And I had gotten to a 69.9, I kid you not. And I go into the teacher's class and I'm in tears. I'm like, and she's like, honey, just I'm with this student, erase my board. So I'm erasing your board. She goes, honey, can you put those books away? We're not using them next year. And so she finally gets to me and she says, so hi, what's up? And I was like, I know I have. And she goes, I see. And I was like, wait, well, what? And she goes, I just added your extra credit for you helping me in my classroom. My 0.1%.
Wow.
And it wasn't because I wasn't trying. It was because Algebra 2 and I don't mix. Math. I took math 6 times in college. I'm not gonna lie. Like, math is not my thing.
No, I agree to that. Like, that's legit. Like, and some teachers, I like the teachers that get it, because even when I went to my thing, but for the course that I wanted to take, I had to do stats. I don't know if it's called stats there, but it's like I I was like,
Math
I
and I
don't know
were
what's
good.
going on. I spent for 3% every Thursday, 3% you have a certain assignment you had to put in. I was up from probably when I got home from class at like 9 o'clock till 4 in the morning, finishing that so I can submit it at 5 in the morning, then go to bed and go to my class at like 1 o'clock or something the next day. I stressed about it. And I said, I cannot do this. So they finally switched me out and gave me another elective. But like that tore me apart. Like math is not
I'm
for
lucky
me.
that my major's form of resource and research is ethnographies, which is the study of people. So there's not a lot of statistics
You
in
don't
it.
need math for that.
So I was
Unless you're talking about their
taking
age.
liberal arts mathematics. So my first year teacher, I had this young guy, like he'd been there a couple of years, and he was just never there. It's like his whole life fell apart. He had a baby, but the baby was born early. His father-in-law died, then his mother died. I kid you not, very
Oh my
similar
God.
story. But like his life was a train wreck. I didn't get the support I needed. I failed the class. The next time I took the class, the guy walks in and he's like, hi, I'm on loan from UC Irvine. I teach astrophysics there. I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. He's literally an astrophysicist teaching liberal art math. I failed. I then, the next time I took it, got this kid who thought he was everything in God's gift and ended up, I failed because I was actually in the hospital with an asthma attack when I was supposed to take my final, and he told me I forged my paperwork.
Oh.
Now, keeping in mind, I had a C going into the final. It wasn't like I was a D or F student going in. He not only failed me because of that, and I understand, I get grades. He failed the 84-year-old woman in my class who had a 59.9.
Oh, that would kill me.
She was a trip. Rosie was a trip. Okay. So then I take math again. By now I'm done, so done. And I get the guy I had the first time. And he's all like, you still? And I was like, can't pass the class. He's like, we're going to pass this class together. He's like, I wasn't fully present the first time. I was like, okay. And like this time, like he made sure he did like what Steve and I know as small group. Okay. Like and during class, he'd pull me for small group. like I was in elementary school. But like I passed. I ended up walking in. I walked into the final at an 87.5%. And he said, you can walk out here right now with an 87.5%, or you can take the final and either get a D or an A. And I said, peace out.
Bye.
So yes, let's talk about Rosie. So Rosie was a woman who was in my college classes, and I took college at about a typical time. So I did graduate high school a little later than most. I was adopted out of foster care, so I started a little bit later than some kids. So I 19 to 25, I ended up with a whole bunch of majors and minors. Anyways. So I'm in college and I meet Rosie, and Rosie is like 84, 85 years old. And like she's in a couple of my classes and we start talking and whatever. And finally we're having lunch one day and I said, Rosie, why are you going to school now? Like, why? She goes, because my ex-husband told me I couldn't. And I was like, okay. Well, like there's a story there. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, what's the story? She goes, I got married really young, my generation. I said, yes, ma'am. And she's all like, so I got married. He was a jerk. Okay. She goes, so I divorced him. In a time that we don't divorce. I said, yes, Rosie. She goes, and the only thing I got in the divorce was piece of property. That was it. So I was raising 2 children alone in the time you didn't raise children alone, and I couldn't go to school. She goes, so I let him control me in my mind, not him physically, but in my mind, till about 4 years ago. Okay. It's like, oh. She goes, and at that point, he died. She goes, and I realized that I had never done anything with the property or with school or anything because of his words. And I wanted to change that. She goes, but I didn't have a lot of money. I raised 2 kids. I was a single mom. She goes, so I finally decided I should sell the property. That property was at Sunset and Vine in Hollywood. She sold it for millions of dollars, y'all.
Wow.
Millions. And she went and she got her college education and graduated at 87 years old. And then she went to her ex-husband's grave and showed him the certificate. And I always said, I want to be Rosie when I grow up.
I like that.
I
We
have
need
a
more
feeling you will
Rosies
be
in the
like-
world, man. We need more Rosies in the world. But
Yeah.
I mean, when she said, "Oh yeah, by the way, the property was," I mean, I am pretty sure I fell out of my chair. She was so casual about it. I was like, "Dear Lord," but yeah. You have to. It's some people you only meet for a short period of time in life, but they can change like your whole perception. You never know who you're gonna meet sometimes.
Everybody needs a Rosie.
Everybody
yeah.
needs a Rosie. I had
Everyone
someone
needs a
like that when I was flying home from my mom's memorial, and Delta transposed my last name. And so I'm at the counter and I'm in tears at this point. They're fixing it. Please don't get me wrong. Delta, you are great. Thank you so much.
I
But,
love
like-
Delta. Love Delta.
but it was one more thing. And in the series of everything that had been happening, it was one more thing. And so I finally get they fix it. They get me checked in. They get my luggage because this time, see, no one had noticed it the first time I'd flown because I hadn't checked any luggage. Gone unnoticed. I didn't even realize that my name was spelled wrong. So I'm really upset at this point, but I'm checked in. So I step outside the airport terminal, and I'm just, I have some tears in my eyes. I'm really upset. And this lady comes up to me and she says, "Are you okay?" It's like, no, not at all. And so we had this conversation, and we have just both lost somebody in our lives. And she goes, "Can I give you a hug?" And I was like, yes, we need more people like that in the world. That instead of kicking people when they're down, like I hugged a stranger that day. I have to say I hugged a stranger that
I mean,
day.
I will hug a stranger. I'm not afraid to. Like,
Oh.
I literally have a shirt when I fly that says free hugs. Just
Free
ask.
hugs!
Just ask.
If we did more hugs than verbal beratement and slurs and hate in this world, the world would be a better place. And it's just this world is so crazy these days with everything, and I'm just like, I don't have room for it. I used a term in my classroom the other day, and the kids all looked at me and it aged me. I was like, "Y'all need to stop with the haterade," and they all looked at me like.
I mean, I do know that one. I'm not that young, so
I mean that one's kind of carried on for a while. That there's a good one, but it was so funny. They're all like, "Well, it works," but then you get the sixth graders. They're looking at you like, "Do we want it to work?" Yes, it works, but like, do we want it to work?
yeah. Hey, now in your class, whenever a kid acts up, you can be like, "Do you want me to take you on the onion?" Use that as a.
I'm gonna discuss you now. Not really. Don't want anyone to ever think that. Thank you. Okay.
I mean,
But middle
I have
schoolers
business cards. I have business cards.
middle schoolers have nothing on kindergartners though. So Steve, what age do you work with?
Currently, I'm in like preschoolers, so like that 3 to 4 year old age. So
Okay. So my school district got a real sense of humor. For context, I have only taught middle school and up in my entire life. So high school and middle school. And one summer they thought it would be real funny to send me to an elementary school.
oh,
Okay. And my job was basically like, I was a full teacher, but I was like a floater, meaning like whoever called in for the day, like the grant that did the summer program said that a certified teacher was in the classroom at all times. So they had an extra person at each school to ensure that that would happen. So I was like a floater. It's the whole way there. The first day I said, "Please don't give me kindergarten. Please don't give me kindergarten. Please don't give me kindergarten." I get to school. "Hi, our kindergarten teacher hasn't shown." So I have kindergarten, first day of summer school. Okay. So I get this kid, and he comes up to me and he says, "Do we have PE today?" I said, "I don't know." And I'm looking for my schedule. Like I know I was given a schedule of their specials. So specials are like your art, your PE, your
right.
technology, whatever, like, and they rotate the kids throughout the week, right? So one day you'll have PE, one day you'll have art, one day you'll have music, etc. Okay, so I'm patting myself down looking for my schedule. And I say to this kid, I said, "Look, I know you have a special today. I'm not sure which one it is. I can't find my schedule." And this kindergartner looks me in the eye and says, "You don't know what you're doing, do you?"
Really?
Kindergartner. A couple hours later, his friend in this kindergarten class, she's walking around in these Crocs, but they're light up Crocs. Remember the light up shoes? Okay, these are light up Crocs. So I said, "Girl, where'd you get light up Crocs?" Because if y'all don't know me that well, I wear Crocs every single day. I am the walking Tampa airport, they always put on their social media that no Crocs are allowed. I am the billboard poster for what they're talking about. Okay. So I was like, girl, love your light up Crocs. Where did you get them? No, I don't expect a real answer. I understand she's in kindergarten. And she looks at me and she says, a store, ever hear of one? And I'm like, I
Oh my God.
it's
Oh my
worse than my
God.
middle schooler. I'm like, the audacity.
Yeah, some of the times when the kids talk, I'm like, pardon? What did you just like? I have
I,
4-year-olds
I teach
being like,
seventh graders with less staff.
I have 4-year-olds and like, didn't you see that over there, bro? I'm like, did you just call me bro? I'm like,
I
you're
am
four
okay.
years old.
I am not your bro. I am not your sis.
No, I'm your teacher. I'm sorry. Like, even my kid, when she calls me bro, I'm like, I'm your dad. I'm not your brother. I'm not your bro. I'm
I
your
had this
dad.
one kid last year that kept calling me bro, like over and over and over and over. And one day I finally said, you gonna get your grade up, bro? He was like, that's
Eh.
offensive. And I was like, you call me bro every single day. He was like, I'll stop doing that.
I mean, we use
Now you know
bro.
how it sounds, right?
I use bro a lot.
But it's different. You can call me bro any day, Tyler, and it's okay.
It's just so
But like,
comedy.
I would never call my parents or any like older family members bro.
That's the
I mean,
hardest thing I have right now with my kid. I'm like, the things you say to me, I would be running after I said it with my parents. Like, I'd be like, I just never mind.
like the worst thing I ever said to my dad. So I was in second grade. And I was told that, no, I guess it was first grade. And so this is back in the 80s where I was allowed to run around with all the kids of all ages, and we all ran through the neighborhood like a little pack of, wild animals. And so we were allowed to go down to like 7-Eleven and get candy and stuff. And the one thing my dad said I couldn't do was hop the chain link fence of the school to play basketball. That was the one rule he had because it was trespassing. Now, I didn't understand it was trespassing at the time, but that was the run rule my dad had. And what happens that my dad drives by the school and guess who's on the other side of the fence? Your girl right here. So I get home and he's giving me the talk, right? And he says to me, "Do I make myself clear, young lady?" And me and my 7-year-old bravado said, "No." I never said
Uh-oh.
no again.
Now say that you learn it once, you don't say
So,
it again.
so like, what these kids say today, I'm like, and there is a difference too, because like I have some students who are yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. One kid forgot a ma'am the other day, and he was so scared to death I was gonna call his mom. And I don't need that. But like I understand that some people think that that's how they show respect, by all means. Uh, but then you hear the opposite side of the bros and this and that and like contact like friend to friend, bro is fine. I'd rather have them call each other bro than some of the other words I've heard in the past years. So, like, yes, bro is much better than some of the things that I've heard in middle school classrooms. I always tell the kids, like, when they're calling me names, like, my first year teaching is the worst thing I've ever heard. You are never going to do better than her. Stop trying. And I can't even alert to what it is on whatever because it was that bad. But so bro is tame, but yeah, don't call me bro if you're a
No,
kid.
no.
I'm not your bro.
I
I
mean,
mean, I don't even ask for Mr. and Mrs. I'm coach or I'm coach, so like coach is fine. But like I'm not your bro. My nephew called me bro like earlier this year, and I dusted him down.
the one nickname old people seem to call me in healthcare is Sunny Boy. I'm like,
Nice.
Do they pinch your cheeks too, Todd? Do they?
oh yeah. Oh, come here, I
Oh,
got
Sunny
it.
boy.
Sonny boy. That's funny.
I literally, so I am happily married to my wonderful wife. I had my
Yes.
residents try to hook me up with their daughters. When I worked in a facility, I was like, I'm happily married, like, but there are other single people around here. I can find one, send one in.
Yeah. Well, my eighth graders, by the time they reach eighth grade, they have more than likely met Matt at some sort of school event or football game or something along the line. But it's always funny. I always have a sixth grader who tries to hook me up with their dad. And like an eighth grader will come in and be like, she has a man. Why didn't you tell me? I'm not dating your dad.
Bro,
Bro.
like, I mean, I say bro to my residents all the time now.
But that's different. Like that's actually kind of funny. That keeps
I
them young.
mean, I do call one of them Pops. Well, the one who recently passed away a couple weeks ago. It's because he's one that I would take out. Oh, you're taking your grandpa for a walk. Well,
All right,
he's one
Pops,
that's
let's go.
boisterous. That's Grandpa's too old fashioned. Call me Pops. Got it, Pops.
Pops, Poppy. My friend insisted she was too old to be a grandma, so she's a glamma.
Love that.
That works.
I
I call
mean,
my dad Pops. Hey,
Yeah.
Pops.
I call my dad old man.
I
It's
do
a
that
old
too.
man. It's a old man.
It's
Unfortunately,
hilarious.
he calls me that back too.
My dad said that to me. Like, so my sense of humor comes from my father. Even though I'm
Same.
adopted, it definitely siphoned through. For example, I texted this man the day that the Pittsburgh Steelers signed Vic, okay? And I texted him, how did the Steelers sign Vic? And his answer to me was, with a pen. Okay.
Love it. Love it.
So he says to me when I was back home the last time, well, you know, you're getting old. Well, if I'm old, you're ancient. He's like, you got some gray hair. And I'm like, and yours is white and your point. Like, I mean, I can do this all day. Let's go.
I mean, I have gray hair. Unfortunately, my boss at work, I'm helping her move something. Oh, you have a nice little gray patch going on. I'm like, without even missing a beat, I turned to her like, "You're one to talk. Your whole head is gray." I got called to the office that day.
Well, I say to the kids, I'm like, you see this patch right here? That was you. That I won't say a name. There's one student I had for 3 years, and everybody knew that my little skunk stripe that is nicely dyed right now, but my little skunk stripe had his name on it. And even at eighth grade graduation, he was like, "Well, we all know that you're the reason why you have your skunk stripe." True that, kid. True that. There are some that give you a little more headache than others. My
It
cat
happened.
found in agreement, by the way.
I just keep my head shaved. All that.
Why do I think, I mean, I have the undercut that's to actually cut my migraines, but why do I think that might get the not the attention I want? I have a feeling that some heads would turn there. They already turned because of the undercut. And I was like, look, I did the undercut and I cut my migraines by 75%. So it's safe.
No, but like I always say the whole thing of I teach kids and that's what keeps me young. At least I try, because I
Right?
could be doing something else and it could make me worse, but I feel like this is okay for me.
Yeah, I do. They definitely keep you young. Even if you're feeling old doing it sometimes, the mindset keeps you young. And I mean, I'm the fun teacher. Well, I'm semi the fun teacher. It depends on which kid you ask. But I'm not afraid of making a fool of myself. Uh,
No,
so I
that's
mean, I do
allowed.
that in orgs anyways. So like, I mean,
That's
you know.
true.
I'm literally making a fool of myself next weekend at an LRG. I'm almost sure of it.
I mean, there's certain things I have found out that I'm great at in orgs, and there are certain things that I am terrible at. So,
Some things we know to stay away from.
yeah, yeah, it's the and I still, and yes, I have had the Melissa S tutorial and slide puzzles, but I still can't solve a slide puzzle for the life of me.
I've done a few, but it's still
I
hard.
I do like a slider.
I'm not great at jigsaws, although I'm getting better and sometimes not the last. Okay. Sliders are not my thing. Now, what is it called? They're like hexagons and you have to turn so the vines go through. That one I'm really good at. I can't think of its name right now. Entanglement.
Oh, okay.
So
I haven't done too many of those.
there is like a puzzle jamboree a challenge, and one of them is entanglement. That is that high. I will bring us to victory. Uh
They need an org with all puzzles.
Oh my God.
no,
Some
that
people
is
would be
my
crazy.
nightmare. Have you ever it's what is the word I'm looking for? It starts with a T. There is an org out there, which name is totally failing me at the moment. Um, it's pretty famous too. Anyways, it starts with a T and it's on Discord and someone can figure it out. They always have like a harder than nails puzzle in their season, like rotating pieces over 150 or like over 150 pieces rotating, etc. And Triumph, that's the one I'm trying to think of. And like I was like hyperventilating because I was DNCing it because I there was no way I was going to complete this thing, and it turns out I have to cast didn't complete it.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think now if we've done all of our questions too. Um, we always go into Big Brother. We always go into Survivor. We always do orgs. Um, and I'm so unfortunate because I usually have this nice little list of all the questions we usually ask and the people that have been referred to join the Onion, but my computer is in a box on the floor over there because my basement, if you weren't aware, but we had crazy floods out here and my basement was a nice little pool. So
Oh yes, I'm sure those are the ones related to the floods in Ohio and Indiana currently.
So it's not fun for anyone who have ever has had a flood. I don't recommend it to anyone, but we're slowly back together. It's crazy because I have a basement, but I feel like we just moved because there's nothing there right now, and we're just waiting for the okay. We were supposed to get rain tonight, but I think it's past us, which is nice. But everyone's afraid of rain now.
I mean, at
Yeah.
least you don't live in Oregon where it rains all the time.
There's seasons in Florida where we get scared of rain because we've had so much rain that there's saturation and like if we will flood. I mean, that's one of the reasons why like Hurricane Irma was so bad was because we'd already reached saturation before Irma came. This year we've had extreme heat, more heat. Yes, Florida is hot. We all know Florida is hot.
But it's funny
So
though, because like sometimes you have like cold blasts, and I'm like, that's because we stole the heat because we're dying up here.
So
Like
here's the funny fact. I have lived in Pennsylvania-ish. I have lived in Alaska, Minnesota, California, and Oklahoma. And I had to move to Florida to have a snow day.
oh my God.
We actually had a snow day,
Well,
which really wasn't ice on the bridge day, but it was still a snow day. There was actually lots of snow in Tallahassee. There was flurries here and just north of us, quite a bit of snow. In fact, there was that one school district in Georgia that was like out for a week because no one had any means of removing snow. We this year we were down to a feels like of 11, which is extremely cold for where I am. I understand compared to some Canadian weather and whatnot that it is not cold, but when you compare it to our average temperature, that is extremely cold here.
well,
People
it's
don't
funny.
have they don't have the clothes. They don't have their cars are not like they don't have all weather tires. They don't have like the same kind of antifreeze and oil in their cars. Like
Yeah.
it's a mess.
It's like complete shutdown. Like when I heard California, Texas, Florida, when they had snow or ice, I'm like, uh-oh, that's a problem. Because obviously, like, up here we have winters and they're disastrous sometimes. So we have plows just parked seasonally. But I know with you guys, it's like you have construction trucks that have plows. That's about it, probably.
Well, and what's crazy is the last year we had some, the year before it was even crazier. It was like the first time it had happened, and recent, like in recent memory, about like 50 years. And we had sent all of our snow plows, the few that Florida owned, we had sent up north,
Uh-uh.
and then we got snow. And they had to send them back down because um because yeah, no, we don't normally get snow and ice. Now, the bridges do close here during like hurricanes and tropical storms if the winds are sustained above 30 here. When people hear that we cancel school here for tropical storms and they're like, you're making a big deal. Well, it's more because buses can't operate in the wind on the bridges. Which I do agree with. Thank you, Teamsters, for having great rules for that. Most of our bus drivers are Teamsters here. So when someone's like, I don't care if my kid's on a bus and 40-mile-per-hour winds on a bridge. Thank you, Teamsters, for showing up and keeping our children safe. And there's because there's always that one parent that's going to let their kid walk in that weather.
Mhm.
Because they walked up the hill both times, both ways in the snow. And so my dad looked at me one time and he's like, well, I technically did walk both ways up in the snow. And I just looked at him like, I was a teenager at the time. He's like, well, so I went to school with my aunts and my uncles. So they're all really close in age. Weird. Yeah. So their drop off and pickup was opposite. So he really did go one way to school and one way back. So he was walking up hill both ways. But that's not for the most part, but yes. But today, if we're smarter today. With how we approach safety.
I love how when you go by your conversations and stuff, you have like many, many shout outs to people. I think you win the podcast with the most shout outs.
Oh, I'll talk about anyone, but only positively.
I mean, last week we literally had someone bring clips from games
Oh
of
yeah.
that being like
That was
total.
Alexa.
That was Alexa.
Yeah. She was
Oh,
ready
what did
prepared.
Alexa do?
She brought like clippets of nasty tribals that she's done and like things she's talked about, and it was really cool. Like you should go back to her podcast and check it out.
Yeah,
It was
I
pretty
haven't had a
cool.
chance to watch that yet, just because my life is insane.
It
So a
was a
couple
good
of the
one.
other ones have not seen that one. Yeah, no, I don't do that. I do have a claim to fame, in the org world, and that is that I idol nullified out Andrew Denson, in an org. So that is my claim to fame.
I mean, we all have those moments that
And I was a newbie when I did. If I ever see him in an org, though, again, he's gonna get me out immediately because I've got him out the last 2 months of it. So I know he's coming for me, and it's okay.
That's okay.
Like at this point, like I do understand. I said something in the second time we played together. They told us that our advantage was we could let one person sit, that we were to choose one person on the other team to sit out for trivia, and I said Andrew Denson, which he's a trivia champ, and so yeah, he's coming for me, but it's okay, it's well deserved.
It's okay though. You're fair. It's all good. It's all good game.
Right. Well, gentlemen, I am gonna have to go. I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin.
Oh no, is it
Um,
that time already?
is it?
the fact
Starts.
the fact that I mean I'm pretty sure we've been sitting here for 3 hours now.
Hours?
We
Yep.
started at 5 my time. It's now 8. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like
It's funny. It goes by fast when it's good conversation
Yeah,
though.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I do have to be up super early in the morning, and I'm on the Pacific, or I'm on the East
You
Coast.
mean you don't
I
like
almost
working
said the
tired with
Pacific
kids
Coast.
around you?
Huh?
You don't like working tired with kids around you? What do you mean?
With middle schoolers, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I start official curriculum tomorrow too. So, but it has been an absolute pleasure. I've been loving your stuff.
I'm glad we got you on. It was definitely,
we
it
got
was
you on.
needed. It was needed.
I hope to see you in a game soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, all those things. We're not disclosing anything, Jeffries. So
I mean, we've been trying to get him on since we started this podcast.
Yep. He's a busy man.
Jeffries, get your butt over here and get on here.
You message him, coach. Message him.
Well, he told me
Hey.
he wanted me to plug Survivor Fast Forward Rewind. Well, here's the deal, Jeffries. In order for me to truly plug it, you need to come on and talk to these lovely gentlemen. So,
Well done.
there
Well
you go.
done. Well done. We're going to have to
I'm
send them
pretty
that
sure.
clip right there. It's going to
But
send
yeah,
it. Just send it straight up.
I mean,
No, it's
I
been
guess
great.
last question before you go.
yes.
Okay, since in the org world, who would you want to see
Yeah.
come on and be in your chair? Besides Patrice, because we already talked about him.
Let's see here. Who should I say? I can think of a lot of people, but I'm trying to think about. I think you should ask. I think you should ask later. For sure. Um, and then to equal that out, I think I don't know if you have met her yet, but you should have Allie on. She's awesome and amazing. So she won the first season of Mythos. She came up second in Power Grab and in a very close in Photo Traders as well. And she's a little dynamo. So you could probably get her to bring her boyfriend on too, who you guys have also met, and his name is Jeff. So probably get him on as a duo.
We have had
That'll work.
duos before.
So,
Duels are fun. So, and it's funny because every
I had
podcast
a
we do,
duo.
there's
You just
something
didn't
new.
see my duo. My cat has been sitting here the entire time.
I thought you were gonna say this one person who kept giving you water throughout the night, but
That was my other half, my husband. He's great. He's learned. I said, warning, this is not a challenge, or I'm not prodding tonight. This is a podcast. So if like it's you will be, yeah. And he was like,
That's why
okay.
that's why we have these cool backgrounds. So that way you can't see, like, my room's a mess and I'm upstairs.
I'm barricaded
So
with
yeah,
boxes behind me, so
I am blurred out because we actually moved in. We moved in a few months ago, and we've done every room except this one.
well, that's okay.
Yes, they hear you. Yes, you're there. You can wait.
Well, I'm glad to have you on.
Thank you.
I was gonna say something, I forget what it was. It'll come to me probably later, but it was
It's
so
not
good to
like
have
you'll
you
never
on.
talk to me again. So
Yeah, see ya, bye. No.
bye
And
on
that's
my
it.
do not playlist.
Yeah. Block, block, block. All done.
Just delete the episode. Okay.
It never happened.
Like you should have Kevin and Sarah on, and they can fight the whole time. There you go.
Oh, trust
Hey,
me, we've had some close calls where we did pair up some people that would have been bad, but could have been interesting. But
which you never know what to expect. We have what's called popcorn night, where random Zoom links get sent to people.
you might get one.
That is actually a great idea. I really like that. I may have to steal that for something else. Not for a podcast. I would never. No, I don't mind podcasts. I'm just not that.
She's gonna
I'm not.
start sending us
I
Zoom
I'm
links
mean,
all
not
of a sudden.
disciplined enough
go,
to do intervals.
of course, if you go and watch our test episode, that's where a lot of that had taken
That's
place.
where it all came about.
That's a great idea,
It was
though.
completely anonymous, completely improv.
And you
Just
don't know who's going to
Like,
join.
why am
Like,
I?
I
And
mean,
how
I'll know
many
because I have the
people
winner.
thought it was a random challenge to an org they were in or something?
that's the thing. People are like, "What's this for?" I'm like, "Just join." We don't say anything else. That's it.
Just
So
join.
So you never know. You could get a random Zoom.
you're now on the 2 hour mini. It starts now. Let's go.
Yeah, so like when you have it, so what you're telling me is that when you have Andrew Denson on, you're going to send me the random Zoom, and then I'm going to stare him in the face.
Guess who? Knock knock. Who's coming in?
And put in there, bring a solo cup.
Yeah, so we're gonna settle this now. Actually,
It's going
that's not a
down.
bad idea.
That'd be
That's
pretty.
not a
Actually, that'd
bad
be pretty cool.
idea.
That'd be pretty cool.
To settle some of the beefs, right?
It's going down. We'll change both your names, so you're just like a random nobody, and then we're like, okay, come
Well, the
online. We're gonna do
only
the challenge.
person I had beef with, that I would say that I had ongoing, like I wouldn't call it beef, but we've all played with this person. I guess you can probably guess who this person is. So Zach. I have voted Zach out of like several orgs, and we ended up on a mini, like I want to say it was like Savior of the Damned. They played Savior of the Damned a couple months ago, and Zach was there, and I got voted out, and I had to drag someone with me, and Zach was still in, and he's looking at me like, because how many times have I had to fast forward and rewind? And I said, Zach is sitting there like a deer in the headlights because he thinks I'm going to drag him with me. And Zach was like, and I was like, I'm not doing that to you tonight. So I was like, you're staying tonight. You haven't ticked me off. Well, thank you
you
for
never know.
having
You never
me.
know what to expect.
Never know.
Expect the
Expect the
unexpected.
unexpected. I said that in my classroom the other day, and only one kid got it. And they're like, you watch Big Brother, don't you? Oh, I do more than watch.
Are you a live feeder?
I used to be a super live feeder. But what I will say is in the advent of social media, the need to watch the live feeds has greatly decreased. So I don't really watch them unless I know that I turn on the HOH competition. Like with the couple times they'll show that I will watch it. But like to be honest, in today's social media, I don't need to watch them. I think there should be a study out there about people in education and orgs because there is a lot of overlap. And so like, well, I like playing orgs because it is sort of like my classroom. I don't necessarily want to watch the live feeds 24/7, which is probably like my classroom.
I mean, there have been times I turned on the live feed for this season. I look, they're sleeping. I'm like, I'm not just gonna sit there and watch them sleep.
I think also like back in the day, I'll leave you on this final thought. Back in the day, we had where there wasn't like anything that was like 24/7 and we didn't have social media the way we have social media now. And that everything was in our face all the time. So like the live feeds were like a thing and there was a chat room to go with them and we could talk to people also watching. And that has changed in 20 some odd years to
True.
where like we get all this information all the time and I don't have I can look up Mornings and I can look up Jokers and I can look up BB Junkies and I don't have to like watch the live feeds to know what's going on. And I don't necessarily hate it. And then if you're in orgs, almost every platform or group of orgs has a Big Brother channel that's talking about it anyways. So I mean,
Oh, she passed away.
Ooh.
Hayden Panettiere,
what?
as of almost an hour ago, it was published.
She was on Friday Night Lights, wasn't she?
Yeah, and Heroes and Nashville.
Wait.
Oh, that's weird. Vanquish just said that too in their chat. They're just like, oh my God, what the hell? Huh.
Hold
She
on.
was only 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then yeah, because she was on Friday Night Lights. I actually knew one of the girls who was on that show. Like not closely, but I knew her. Fun fact though, celebrity sighting that I do know, is that in my fourth grade class was Danielle Fishel, who played Topanga in Boy Meets World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to school with Topanga.
There
I
you
adored Topanga. I adored Topanga. Like,
go.
And I'm super proud of the way she has revamped her career. So,
I mean, my first celebrity crush is Amy Jo Johnson, also known as the original Power Ranger.
Nice. Pink
one of my
Power.
friends dated the white Power Ranger back in the day.
Oh,
Well, rest in peace, Hayden. That is unexpected.
Yeah.
literally, I look over and I see it pop right across the screen. I was like, huh.
That's crazy.
Doesn't
Yeah, we're all
say
looking at
why, but
I mean, they'll probably do a biopsy.
yeah,
um,
that's no fun.
I mean,
that's jeez.
but yeah.
She was only 36.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know, Kitty. I know.
Now that all of my Facebook is about that article.
Funny when it comes up, everyone knows about it because it's like on 5 different feeds because we follow the world. So
Oh, yeah. Wow, yeah. And then the only other thing I just got besides Hayden was maybe it's just me, but why does Devins think him using the DPOV is good to put Camu? Couldn't he still win the blockbuster? Yes, yes, he could. Devon's poor decision.
Yeah.
I mean,
Devon's will not win if Dee stays in. This is the time where Devon should not play the Diamond Power veto.
he needs to hang on to that for a couple more rounds.
Yeah. Keep it to yourself too. If someone really.
If she gets off the block in the blockbuster, great. Your ally's still there. You move on. But like this is where you win that money or not. Like this decision is going to be what like influences that
Totally.
because if she stays and she keeps staying, he will not win against her.
No.
I mean, do we think it's going to be a 7-person jury or a 9-person jury?
I'm guessing that they plan on 9 to make sure that the 3 icons are there.
Probably.
Then that would start
Makes
right
sense.
after this eviction jury will start.
Maybe that's why they did the thing so early.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. And then they'll
They're
bring it.
probably gonna do another. There's that. What is that new? Yeah, Kitty, you answer. What is that new challenge that they started doing the last couple years? Um, they already did the hang on challenge. They did that with the hot dogs. Um,
You mean the pickles?
pickles, hot dogs. They're the same shape.
I would give a pickle a hug.
Okay, I do like a good pickle.
I should have left my sound off mute. My daughter comes in the room. Bruh, you're still online? I'm like, yes, I'm still online. This is what happens on Sundays.
Bruh.
I'm like,
I mean,
Tyler's
this is
gonna
what
put her on
happens.
Zoom one day.
Tell her to come on next
But
week.
we just talked about the bra.
I know. I should have left it all on so you can hear it. But
Well,
Oh,
tell your daughter, Steve. We penciled it. We penciled her in on the 30th. She's coming on.
yeah, that's funny.
yeah, it's a good thing you asked me for now because my September and October are non-existent. So
Well, it's good. We
um,
fit you in.
I'm truly living the whole like 4 weddings and a funeral thing.
Legit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean-
we're at the point where we sort of laugh at it right now. We're like,
I mean,
it's-
our September schedule is now open. Like we opened that up last week, Steve? I think is when we
I
officially
think
were
so,
like,
yeah.
I think it's time to open the September.
Gotta get back to my computer so I can fill it in nicely too.
I mean, luckily we have the app that we can look at our
Yeah.
calendar.
It's funny though because as Tyler, I was reading the post here, as Tyler was saying it's 8 o'clock his time, but we schedule the like Eastern time, it's 8 o'clock. But when it comes 10 o'clock, I get the notification saying podcast with coach. I'm like, we're already here.
I mean, I know earlier this week, Coach, you asked me who else is coming on. Well, the person that got sick and canceled.
Oh, do I know them?
Who was I talking about? Who was sick today?
We talked
That-
about her.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So rebook in the making. So
Yes, because I'm pretty sure. Yes, yeah. Well, and just to add to that whole thing, the first season I played with that person, my pod chat was full of "I can't stand it." Oh my gosh! And then we were second season, we became besties. Oh. I really bonded, but so yes, it would be a good story arc. It would be a good story arc. Like,
yeah.
Bestie, why you threw me to the wolves this time? You didn't even know it.
It's the fun of orgs though, where you can still be cool about it afterwards, right?
There is 2 people in the entire world. You could have told me that we're coming on, that I would have been like, sorry. No.
Sorry, my cat needs me
I'm a
right now.
there's only like two out of everyone I could possibly think of. And one I'd probably just be like, yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. But there is someone, I'm not gonna say anything, there is someone that I would be like, mm, sorry, not gonna happen. So that was the only reason why I asked, because I don't care beyond that. So
And 9 times out of 10, we normally don't have them on together. It's like
Yeah.
one, send them away.
right, yeah, no. And that's one person. There's maybe two, but really there's one, and that's okay. Well, thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Thank you for coming.
And
Appreciate it.
it was fun. That was a great way to spend my Sunday night.
I'm glad it was a great way.
It was a good
Have a
way.
great week, y'all.
Take
You
care.
too.
All the best. Coach.
And that was Coach. I mean, pretty simple, pretty.
I almost feel like that was like a Monday episode for us, be the solo and a long one, but good conversation
Honestly,
there. Lots of crazy
I'll
topics.
be real. There is a lot of topics that we touched that I don't think we ever covered on anyone else. Like she gave like stories,
We went to the teaching
like
aspect of life and whatnot, so there's a good chunk there.
I was totally surrounded by teachers in that episode.
Yep.
I mean, but I mean, with that, I think we're gonna end this episode. I mean, you and I normally stay on and talk, but I think
Yep.
with that, we can just kind of tie up this episode.
Yep. I'll leave it like that. That's perfect. It is.
But
So
with that, YouTube,
thank
we
you, social media
will
world.
we will see you next week and with a live from not my bedroom.
We'll see.